Testing.
Okay, so we got some things to talk about.
I should have someone read this, right, for the listeners. If you're not watching this, I feel like you missed out on the warning screen.
Warning, the conversations in this podcast are performed by the cavemen. For your safety and the protection of those around you, please do not attempt to take anything you hear too seriously on the show.
Wow.
There you go.
That guy needs to do commercials.
That was excellent. That was excellent.
Yeah, I've been told I have a voice for radio. Actually, I got hit up, dude, when I was working at a winery. Some dude hit me up to do radio, but it was like from fucking. He wanted me like midnight to like 6 a.m, and I'm like,
sus.
Nah.
Sus.
But it was like, dude, and even better, it was like, dude, all the weed and all the alcohol you want, like, I'll keep you fed. You just don't shut the fuck up and keep talking. And I'm like, I got kids. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen.
Damn, we'll start with that one. First of all, welcome back to the cave. It's me, Joe Reezy, and I'm here with Kyle, aka the chef, and making his debut, as you know, as a caveman. Reez, bring you the Cave Podcast. But before we begin, if you're watching this live, make sure you check out the comments for the Discord link so you can join the Discord community filled with crazy ass people like you and me 24/7. But if you're watching this later, check it out on our Patreon. You can find a link to that on our website, cave.com. That's cave4v3.com. We got FantumMENACE on the podcast tonight. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, y'all? Appreciate y'all for having me on, man. I'm doing great, man.
Hell yeah. So, like we were talking about earlier, hey, man, that guy sounded like a groomer trying to get you on the radio show. Pal, what the hell?
Just a little bit,
alcohol?
I was about to say, bro, I seen on the previous show, somebody said they wanted Morgan Freeman to monologue their life and shit. That's how I was laughing, bro, because you sound hella good at that shit, bro. Public speaking, man, that's a good skill, man. You go far with that.
Yeah, that's actually really funny, dude, because I went over a story yesterday, and I won't get too far into it, but like public speaking, dude, took me a long time to get that shit down. Mm-hmm. Working at the winery, I would do tours and I would do big group events where I was like the one dude, and I had to nail all the stories because it was all based on Francis Ford Coppola, his life, his family, and all of his movies that he's directed as well. But there was one time, bro, and it was in my first year there, but I fucking choked so hard. And I just got like stage fright, and like everyone in the audience started laughing, or not laughing. They started clapping. They're like, "It's okay, Kyle. It's okay. You got this." Man. And then I made it fucking worse, man. And they got brought up because yesterday I did a show and I got the fucking giggles, dude. I mentioned that sometimes I get the giggles, dude, and I ended up getting the giggles yesterday. So it took me like 15 minutes to get through the fucking intro of the podcast. So I don't got it down pat, but I'm working on it.
Hey, nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I fuck up all the time. You feel me? I just make sure that I fuck up in the right circumstances.
Hell yeah. Sometimes
don't fuck up if you're getting paid. Don't get fucked up. Don't fuck it up if you're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing,
It takes fucking up in front of everybody and having the spotlight just fucking burn you in order to learn sometimes, sometimes that's your learning type. I feel like the hard-headed fools are like that, you know what I mean?
Shit, man. Learning by, trial by fire. Yeah. If you survive, then you should. Then you made it, man. You might have fucked up, but you made it.
Well, shit. I mean, like, public speaking until like now doing podcasts hasn't really been like a skill that I needed. But for you guys are rappers. We got FantumMENACE on the show. FantumMENACE, where'd that name come from? Is it Star Wars?
It's definitely Star Wars. So it's kind of super nerdy though. So at first it was just Phantom, and that was from I used to play Halo on Xbox, and it's like back when you had to like use LAN servers and like plug in Xboxes and stuff. And so my cousin, he was like, dude, you gotta have like a name, because this is like hella people play together in one house. He's like, you gotta have a name, bro. And I was like, fuck, I don't know what to use for like my gamer tag. And then he was like, well, they have phantoms in the game, so why don't you use that? He's like, you gotta spell it different though. You can't just spell it normally. So like I was like, okay, FANTUM. And then like I've always been like a Star Wars fan. So like just later down, like probably like a good amount of years after I was rapping, I was like, FantumMENACE, I just feel like it has a better ring to it. So I just kind of like added that on, and yeah, I just like that way better.
Hell yeah, it's tight, man. We're all about spelling words differently over here at the K4V3. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, lit, man. We got a Phantom, we got a Wizard. What's poppin',
man? Hell yeah.
Mystical shit.
Man, so I will say, at the time that FantumMENACE came out, they got a lot of hate, right? And yeah, Will the Band, it did come out in theaters recently, so that was pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, it came out, right.
But yeah, it was hated on when it came out, right? But I feel like, for me though, personally, I had that shit on tape and I would fucking repeat that shit because low-key I had a crush on, what's her name? Natalie Portman.
But hey, man, who didn't? But I'm just saying though, bruh, we were all young as shit. Didn't nobody give a fuck about,
Time out. So was Anakin though. Speaking of grooming, wasn't he, bro?
Oh my God. Hey, talk about double standard.
Right.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But Jar Jar Binks too. I don't know if you guys are still into Star Wars because I like the
Darth Jar Jar.
That's that theory, dog. I still buy into it. I think potentially they still have that in their back pocket just in case.
I said no. Fucking Mark Hamill responded to that shit. He was laughing.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. I think he said he approves of that shit. He approves of Darth Jar Jar.
Oh man, it's hilarious. Yeah.
Now, man, those movies, man, we were so young though. Didn't nobody care about the politics or any of that stuff back then? They were just happy that another movie was coming out. We just watched it. I just watched it when I was a kid and I just liked it. You feel me? I liked it more because of the effects. I was young watching the old ones. I was like, this is cool and everything, right? And then I rewatched them again probably when I was like 9 or 10. And I was like, this is whack, bro. Yeah. Because I had already seen the animatronics of Jurassic Park. That shit was real, looked way more real. You know what I'm saying? There's other movies that were like pulling shit out their ass, bro, and you were just like, what the fuck, bro? So
we spoke on another podcast that even Jurassic fumbled the shit, bro. Like the newer ones.
Oh, newer ones, yeah.
Wasn't the main villain like giant cockroaches? Like I get it, but like I ain't trying to see that. You know what I mean?
What?
I did like giant the feathered dinosaurs.
What are you talking about?
They had the locusts, right? At the end.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was whack, bro.
I need to rewatch that movie. I think I only saw like half of it, bro. But yeah, I seen that show. Like, what the fuck? Why they fighting bugs now?
Yeah. I mean, I get the cloning thing because the whole movie is pretty much cloning and like.
Go look it up. Can somebody look it up? Were there giant locusts back in the day?
Yeah, let's see.
That's something worth looking up, bro. Because if there was giant locusts back in the day, then they talking about some prehistoric themed movies and shit. They're gonna put some prehistoric locusts. That's fine. But I doubt they were that fucking.
Weren't insects supposed to be bigger back in the day too? Like everything.
Yeah, but that's from a completely different time period, not even coexisting with dinosaurs and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
so
there's no. I mean, I don't know, bruh. Is that shit gonna fossilize properly or what? What kind of remnants they have? The logistics of their fossil record. How much stuff is stocked in there. And the different places that they're holding that shit. I don't know, man.
They're hiding it, bro. We spoke about it. They're hiding it.
They're hiding the fossil of the giant locust.
According to ChatGPT, it says, yes, there have been historical accounts of swarms of locusts that were so large they could be described as giant. Locust swarms have been recorded throughout history in various parts of the world, including in ancient texts and historical records. These swarms can contain millions of individual locusts and can cause significant damage to crops and vegetation.
Well, see, that gigantism is relative, though, bruh. It's relative, though. We're talking about. So, what was the size of those locusts in the Jurassic Park movie? Because it wasn't those small little bugs, man.
They were probably like fucking cab sizes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like the size of cars and shit. You know, like fucking small vehicle and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they getting that big?
I mean, let's say they're just as big as football players. You know what I mean? A locust swarm, bro. Did you guys see when there was a swarm in Vegas?
I used to live out there, bro, when all that shit was happening. I mean, that shit happens every now and then out there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Is that like normal out there? Because I thought the fucking revelation was starting when I saw that shit, bro.
I mean, shit, bro. Not like that.
It's crazy because I saw a video of it on top of you know the spotlight on Luxor. It looked like a fucking like. Yeah, it looked like fucking.
I haven't been out there in a minute, bro. So
you know, in Wreck-It Ralph, when they had the fucking locust looking at the light and shit.
What the fuck is going on out there? What? Why? That
was 2019. Yeah, I think it happened last year too, 23.
Yeah, I had been left, but back in the day, there wasn't like that, bro. I mean, you would see all types of grasshoppers everywhere, bro. And then the grasshoppers, they change into a locust. A locust is a metamorphosis, the final stage of the metamorphosis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I mean, I forgot what causes it. You know, some biological.
Isn't there supposed to be like some cicada like swarms or something about to pop off? Like,
shit, man, I ain't never seen a cicada swarm. I saw a cicada for the first time in the Philippines, not even in America. You feel me? But yeah, I ain't never seen no cicada.
Are they fucking? They got to be in the same class of locusts, whatever fucking species they are, right? Like this is the same shit. Actually, no, this looks more like a fucking fucked up fly beetle. God damn.
It's scary, case, bro. If they giant, bro, that's fucked up, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you better hope they're not carnivorous. You feel me?
Interestingly enough, a lot of people are pushing back against eating bugs, right? Because that's a new. They're saying that's a new trend that's going, and they're trying to market how healthy it is for you. But I just looked this up, and it was talked about in our Discord. Drinking coffee, I guess there's a percentage of cockroach debris in coffee. Like it's unavoidable too. So when people are like, "Oh, I'm never gonna eat cockroaches" and all that, like you're already doing that if you drink coffee. Pretty interesting.
I've eaten. I've had crickets before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And it was literally like I went to a gas station here in SoCal. And there was like novelty items. So just to give you a broader view of what I bought at the gas station along with some gas. But I bought like the what was it? The H2O in a can.
Oh, okay.
Where like you put it over your mouth. So I bought a tank of that. And then I bought, they had like little packs they had like barbecue, salt and vinegar, and then another flavor of crickets. And I was like, fuck it, dude. So I always grew up. You guys ever have those suckers that have like either a cricket, a worm, like a mealworm, or a scorpion in the center of the sucker? So it was kind of just like a novelty item. But
shit, man, Filipinos eat snails. So
I've eaten snails too. Snails are fire, dude. Escargot,
yeah. I haven't had snails. Yeah,
they're bomb. If they're cooked correctly. I mean, it's kind of chewy, but like you think about it like calamari, right? Calamari's kind of chewy as well. It's good, dude. Cook it like in a like little butter wine parsley sauce. It's not bad. But I say that, but I eat a lot of fucked up shit. So, but I'm not a huge I don't eat bugs on the regular. Let me make that fucking clear. I've only had one little bag of crickets.
Timon and Pumbaa looking at fucking shit, man.
Hey, speaking of, I went to the movie today and I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and the trailer before the movie was Mufasa. Let's go. Fucking, do they need a prequel? I mean, they might ruin it, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting though, but going back to Star Wars, FantumMENACE, I liked it when it came out. I'm still a fan of it. I like Kylo Ren and where the story's going. I think they fumbled some episodes, but bro, if you're gonna make 6 classic movies, you're gonna fumble 1 or 2 of them, man. You know what I mean? It's not
Are you
God
talking about
making these movies.
the last three? Which three are you talking about that got fumbled?
Well, first of all, like we were saying, the thing with Star Wars is there was such a lapse in time between the first three and the next three that you were just hungry for it, you know. And then even the next three, like when was it A New Hope came out with Rey when they first introduced her, everybody loved it. Even though if you look back on it now, it was just a bunch of callbacks, right? But now with Disney Plus, you're getting all this shit. You're getting shows about characters you don't even give a fuck about, you know? Like, who's this droid? I don't care what happens to this droid.
Give a fuck about him now, shit.
Yeah.
They way more interesting than the fucking motherfucking last three movies they just put out. You know, they fucked it up, bro. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, there's a bunch of controversy, you know, behind the scenes shit. You know how it is, making a project with a group of people, shit. You know, some people get mad. Somebody's ass gets grabbed. Somebody gets fucking, you know, smacked. Somebody fucking acts like this, like a fucking premature Madonna. Somebody's stealing on set. Somebody's doing cocaine, fucking in their trailer, you know, fucking doing all types of shit, bro. It's life, man. We getting into it with each other. You better get ready for that shit, boy.
They are owned by Disney now,
ready,
so
man.
that is a variable.
This is a crazy
too.
world.
Yeah.
You know, you get into, you know, you can't expect, this is Hollywood, man. This is not a fucking regulated fucking, you know, it's not heavily regulated like it's government funded or like it's a medical field fucking practice. You know what I mean? Like this shit is fucking Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting playground.
I forget where we talked about this, but you know, when you have your sites out of the country, then you can bypass certain laws too, right? We talked about black sites. Well, you don't think that shit's going on in Hollywood too when they have to shoot, you know, a small scene in some other island because it's the only, it's the only scene that they can get for the perfect setting for the scene or whatever. So
shit, man, I want to take some cameras and go film in the islands, bro. I already got ideas, so it's if I can just think of it, somebody's already done it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, people playing in islands and filming shit isn't a new thing, you know what I mean?
Nah, man. Somebody was telling me about a Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's like smuggling weed in and out of a fucking cave and shit, bro, on an island. Oh no, yeah, I was in the Philippines and they were telling me, oh, it's based off of this place. It's based off this place. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So
I think it's called The Island.
I think it is called The Island.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie. I was talking to my my family member about it. They were just telling me like I've never seen the movie though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty good movie. He's been in some good movies, but I think he's been on the island too. You know.
Oh, he's been, dude. He was groomed. He was groomed for sure, dude. For sure.
He was groomed to groom.
That too. Yeah.
No reason.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Is he living a nightmare? Is he living a nightmare or living a dream?
Well, first of all, okay, so I was
let the world decide.
I was on the Schizo News Network with Reality Czars, and what we went over, dog, was just a bunch of pedo cases and stuff, right? And it's crazy because we think that it's just in Hollywood, right? We always talk on this podcast about when you're in the rap industry or where you're in the acting industry, then you can't avoid it. But we're hearing stories of people in school, like the teachers are the fucking predators, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And now, I don't know if you guys know, Chef, we talked about this last time. Vitaly, like the pranker Vitaly,
yes.
That was content is just catching predators. He's teaming up with Ty Dolla $igns. He's teaming up with, what's his face? He did Bobby Shmurda last night. He did Little
I seen that shit too. I was like, this fucking retarded, bro.
T Grizzly was in one. T Grizzly was in one, and they're mad, bro.
This is a GTA server. This ain't normal like day-to-day life. This is a GTA 5 server now.
It's wild, bro. It is.
Well, yeah, they did. He did one with I just seen 20 minutes before I hopped on. Vitaly and Lil Pump busted this Hispanic dude and was like, Lil Pump was like, call your wife right now, and the dude's like, no. So he snagged his phone, dude, and shattered it.
Yo, if that motherfucker starts like featuring big time stars and shit, and gets big because he's fucking.
But they just they just busted Herschel Weingrod or whatever, and he was the director of or the writer of Space Jam, and dude,
shit.
and
Which
busted
one?
him
Number
with
one or two.
I think it was the first one back in 1998.
That's the thing, bro. He was catching losers. Like if you see these people pulling up, they're like, "Whoa!" I mean, I kind of expected it, but when they caught this guy, he ended up becoming a top executive in Hollywood. He wrote Trading Places, Kindergarten Cop, Lift, Space Jam. So, and he was trying to meet up with a 15-year-old, bro. And then the next one, they caught an attorney in L.A. How are they catching him?
No, I was just gonna say how is motherfuckers like this getting into Hollywood, but now you just spice it up and talked about an attorney and shit. So now it's just like you can't even ask how. They just everywhere, bro.
Yeah, it's almost like hazing.
That's how, man.
Yeah.
This fucking because I don't know. I think it just got appropriated over time, like to an extent where the incels are coming out. And they're realizing, wait a minute, I'm not an incel. I just got some other shit going on. They're going after all these little kids. I can't really explain the psychology behind it because but I just think it's pretty sick.
It's wild. I think it's an ancient practice too. So I don't think it's a new. You know what I mean? I don't even think the alibi that it's a mental disability now.
Let's be real though.
Around back then, it's like a cycle.
I mean, it's like Babylonian times and shit like that. Sodom and Gomorrah,
when shit gets like this,
time, because what thing is, they sacrifice to these deities like Baal or all those guys. So that shit is still going on. It's just they changed the face of it, and they're doing it now still.
I think what's confusing for just mankind in general around the matter is the fact that so from a biological standpoint, men can reproduce well off into their age and women can't, right? There's more of a risk for women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's more incentive to have a younger mate. But then you have you also have the problem of, how grown that person is, right? And then you have the moral issues that come with that. And so we've had these laws set, and they're all different everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the fuck's going on? You know what I mean? It's like they have the bar set at different locations, in different places on Earth, right?
Yeah.
And so it gets really muddy, bro.
Yeah, we talked on the last show. The age of consent in Canada is 16. So, someone else
is younger. Is younger in Japan, right?
Is it? I wouldn't be surprised.
Go check it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
While you're checking that up, dude, like here in California, I'm pretty sure if I know this for a fact. I forgot exactly the name of the bill that got passed, but like if your kids are 12 years old and you do not, what do you call that? You don't go along with whatever fucking gender that they want to be. They're out, dude. They leave. The state takes care of them. There's nothing you can do about it. They'll support them. They'll house them. They'll pay their bills. They'll do whatever. That's at 12 years old, dude.
Yeah. So the age of consent in Japan is 16. And then, yes, Jeff, you did bring this up. So I looked it up. It says for transgender children, decisions around which treatment to provide and when to provide the treatment are made jointly by the physician and parent of the child, generally following professionally recognized standards. California. Oh, wait. So this is October 17th, 2023. So this is still saying adult, and it still says requires parents to affirm. So are they trying to pass it right now?
I'm pretty sure they just passed something, dude, like very recently that goes along something like that.
Okay.
Which is exactly one of the many reasons why we homeschool, because like, you know, the way that I look at it is like, when you're 12, right, you're not technically in your teens yet, but you're going through puberty. You either got your testosterone going through, you got your estrogen happening, and, you know, mom and dad suck. They're the worst parents ever. You know, for the most part, like, you get grounded. You can't go to a party. You can't do this, or you can't go spend the night at Lucy's house or Joey's house or whatever the case may be. Like, I feel like when you're that age, like, you are so unstable. You just don't know what the fuck is going on. You're just trying to figure things out, man. You got hair popping up, your voice is changing. Things are weird.
The mental development is not even there yet.
Exactly.
It's barely there for men when they hit their 30s. You know what I mean? And women get there at a younger age. That's why they go for older men. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they feel more comfortable with older men. Because they, you know, just naturally or instinctively, they feel that it's going to aid to their development. You know what I mean?
But if you can imagine, like, them teaching this type of shit in school, like, they're teaching this, so these kids are aware of this. So these kids are aware of the fact, like, hey, if mommy and daddy don't think, you know, they don't want to look at you as a kitty cat, you know, and you really want to be a kitty cat, don't worry, we'll take care of you. And the parents are out of the loop. They're out of the fucking loop, dude. One day CPS rolls up, kid's gone. That's it, dude. That is fucking it. Because
so you're telling me that the kid is a cat at school.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
And because I don't acknowledge that he's a cat.
Yep,
bro. They're going to be taking.
They will take your kid.
If that was around when I was growing up, I'd be a fucking Velociraptor Jedi right now. Straight up, bro.
Okay, so what happens if you homeschool a child?
Then I mean, I'm homeschooling my kids. She's not exposed to any of that shit. So there's like nowhere.
I do homeschool too. So yeah, we don't.
There's nowhere she's not gonna go. She can tell grandma and grandpa, but grandma and grandpa, like, but my kids are not. They're not like that. You know what I mean? Thank God. Yeah, I mean, dude, my oldest kid's a fucking flat earther. Okay, so I'll just throw that out there.
Only socialization I would provide my children is like extracurricular or some kind of sports activity, some kind of group
my daughter's social shit is 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, dude. She does jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai 5 days a week.
Yeah, I was going to say homeschooling is cool too because they provide you with like funds to do like, you know, other things for school. So like my kids do gymnastics. It's paid for by their homeschooling. You know, we have like memberships to the museums or like all these things. It's like you can spend the money on learning, like, but you can style it catered to kind of like what their interests are, like what they're like more skilled in. You can double down and like spend money on programs to enhance that, you know, coding, whatever it is. It's like when I was in school, you didn't really have access to things like that. It was more like, oh, we're going on this field trip, or, you know, everything's just, everybody does the same thing, you know, nothing's like specially catered to that kid.
That is exactly correct. That is and that's one of the benefits, dude. It's fucking awesome. Now we're working on getting like into a charter school type system. It's like literally 3 houses up from us, and I've heard nothing but good things. So she gets a little bit more socialization, but they're not, they don't, like, we kind of get to choose the curriculum. Because when I was doing like the homeschooling we're doing now, if you guys have ever heard of, his name is Brett Pike. He's a younger guy. He's on Instagram. He does. He has these books. One's called like Jekyll Island. So he teaches the kids in these cartoon books, you know, about Jekyll Island and like the fiat currency system. One is called like Bearing Arms, and it's about a bear, but it talks about your right to bear arms. So we kind of have like a custom plan. Not saying it's the way to go. You know, it's just what we're doing for right now. But I mean, even when she did, like when she was doing the homeschooling through, because you can do it through the county. So they literally send you, and they're fancy ass pencils, bro. I'm just saying, like, I remember growing up with pencils that, like, they're nice pencils, nice crayons. They give you all the curriculum that you need. But I remember there was one thing, and it was a globe. and it was like coloring, and I was like, fuck no, we're not doing this. Not doing this. And just to be clear, like, I'm not like a hardcore flat earther. I just don't believe in the heliocentric model. I know it's bullshit. I can prove it. That's for another podcast. That's for another show. But I'm like, fuck no, we're not doing this. So I write a little note. You have a problem with my daughter not doing this? Call dad. Number right there. Go ahead and give me a call, and I'll explain why I'm not having my daughter do this bullshit. But yeah, when you do this, you're keeping your kids like out of it. And I feel bad, dude. And I don't know about you, Phantom, because I feel like we're kind of around the same age. I was born in the 90s, in 1990. And I remember going to school, and I remember hearing about kids homeschool. And I'm like, that is so fucked up. And the homeschool kids were always fucking weird, dude. They were just fucking weird. They were weird. And I remember saying, I will never homeschool my kid. That is fucked up. That is wrong. Like, I learned all these cool street smarts, and I, like, look at me now, and I'm flipping fucking burgers, homie. So, like, nah, dude.
The street smart stuff, though, like, because I'm about to have a daughter. The street smart stuff, like, I'm kind of nervous about how they're going to acquire the street smarts that I'm bragging about, because the way I acquired the street smarts that I know, I feel like it's like sketchy situations, you know what I mean? And I feel like now, with social media, you're seeing some fucked up, like, shit popping off in school. I mean, I saw some crazy shit going on in school. I don't know if it's because I'm an adult now and I'm seeing on social media that it seems to hit a little more, but that's another thing. I feel like social media and into the internet, I think back then it used to be a stigma to be weird if you were homeschooled because you don't have the socialization, but with online and the internet, I feel like you kind of make up for it in a sense, but also at a distance. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, like with the socialization, it's really just like, like doing the classes and the extra stuff. I feel like, that's how you get that in. But I mean, street smarts, it's like, it's kind of like, no matter which way you put it, sometimes kids are going to be in sketch situations, So I feel like it's just our jobs as parents to equip them with, how to act, in a said situation, and then they're at least going to have that knowledge and that background. And I just feel like because of the internet and social media, we're just like a little more equipped to, educate and handle things than like our parents and stuff like that. I'm always on shit. Like I can go look anything up at any moment, like with my fingers. My parents didn't necessarily have that ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think we talked about the last show too. Right now, it's kind of basic knowledge to know that people have different learning styles. And to your point, like if we wanted to show someone Star Wars and get caught up with the whole fucking lore of it, you could either show them a book, show them an Instagram carousel, you know what I'm saying? A YouTube video that sums everything up, a TikTok that shows everything. Like there's different mediums for one lesson to be mentally downloaded now, which is interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's cool, though, because, like, with homeschooling, like, I've even been able to see, like you said, my children, like, they both learn a little bit differently, Like, with my son, like, he almost kind of, like, teaches himself sometimes. Like, he can just, like, get things a little bit. With my daughter, like, just takes a little bit more work sometimes with things. So, like, even just, like, I feel like sometimes, if you go to public school, you kind of already get started in the indoctrination of just, like, doing things in a certain structured way. So with a little bit of the more freedom of the structure, I've been able to see like, okay, so this kid kind of naturally has more of an engineering style brain, more of a critical brain. Okay, this kid may need a little bit of more like a hands-on like they need you to be there with them to kind of get it, So.
Yeah, I mean, when I started elementary school, I didn't even get a sorting hat. You know what I'm saying? So they just throw you in there and just like everybody, just fucking go, man. Fucking Hunger Games, bro.
Yeah, to your point too, if you don't learn the same way as everybody, then you get made fun of and then you get embarrassed. So now you kind of almost just try to fit in the box or fake it till you make it when you're not really fitting or wearing it,
Yeah, I mean, shit, bro. I was a bad student, so I can't really say nothing right now. But
I tried until I learned that everything was just fake and gay. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to do this again in high school. Man, I'm gonna have to do this again in college. Man, this won't even matter at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
no, I'm gonna go back. You gotta go back to school eventually, but when the time is right. But as far as like educating children, if I had them, they definitely would be homeschooled. So that, like they said, I can cater their learning style. Cater to their learning style. I've always felt like like life, like humans are moving in a way that's like it's in the path of least resistance, right? So it's like, okay, what's the path? So if my education is being resisted by the fact that because of these social hierarchies and having like I'm trying to be popular while I'm trying to fucking learn too, you know what I mean? And all this stupid shit that's going on distracting you, you might as well just take all that shit out.
Yeah, you get distracted. And that's another thing I wanted to mention too. Like with college, sometimes you just kind of take a major that is going to be successful, and midway, you're like, dude, I didn't want to do this shit. I'd rather have either pursued art where I could have used that for my startup instead of fucking being in debt now because of this.
What they should have did, they should have really focused on teaching us like what we need to do when we are of age. Like, first of all, teach people how to really fucking drive. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody's fucking doing that for the rest of their fucking lives for the next 40 fucking years, they better be doing that shit right, bro. Because they obviously didn't give a fuck, and we have all these fucking deaths, because of fucking poor driving. So there's that. Fucking if they got more on top of sexual education, got more comfortable talking about sex with our children and stuff like that, then I don't know, maybe we would have less problems in that area too. Another thing is taxes and how to handle your money right. They didn't teach us shit about that in school, bro. At least in the Nevada school system, we didn't have no classes like that. You know what I mean? There wasn't no mandatory class teaching you how to do your taxes, how to file your taxes every year, what each of the forms mean. Some motherfuckers don't know what a 1099 is. 1099 fucking miscellaneous, 1099 fucking all these different codes, dividends and fucking, don't nobody know what that shit is. The fuck? You know what I mean?
It's almost by design. It's almost by design though, It's like
what kind of fucking bullshit.
I talk about this a lot, bro. And it's like, I don't know if you guys have been there, but in a medical scenario, like an emergency, like especially if
they
you're
don't
not
teach
really
none of that shit either.
Yeah, they're bombarding you with these medical jargon that you don't know, and you're almost kind of gaslit to know some sort of, you know what I mean, idea of what they're talking about in order to make a decision. And if you can't really make a decision, you just trust the doctor. Doctor's gonna check your insurance out and be like, or they're gonna be like, all right, we'll charge this motherfucker everything,
Basic life support should be taught in school, bro. Like these things that I'm like, and how to fucking grow plants. You know what I mean? How to properly grow food and shit. Shit that actually preserves your life.
Bro,
what I'm saying? They just got too many topics, bro. Here's history, here's this, here's that. Go learn every fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's like, the fuck, I don't know how to fucking live and be a normal human.
The history isn't even correct, bro.
There you go.
Like a lot of the history is all fucking fake and gay.
This bullshit. Like they should have been teaching me how to do my fucking taxes and how to fucking survive on this fucking planet. Not this random history that's not gonna fucking help because it's written by the fucking winner of the war. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like this shit don't make no fucking sense, bro. Teach niggas how to fucking make campfires for fucking crying out loud. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some real shit. You know what I mean?
I was kind of thinking about that because, like, say, like, you homeschool your kids, right? So, like, if you know that there's things that are untrue, but, like, for the test or something, if they have to answer that, it's so do you tell them, like, you have to answer this just to pass the test, but this is the truth. But, like, imagine telling that to a small-ass kid, Because, like, I know, like, I had to unlearn so much shit. Like when you become conscious, you have to unlearn all of the shit and relearn the correct shit. So it's like, do I teach my child the incorrect shit just to pass this test? You know, it's kind of like a fucked up like thing when you think about it. You know,
if you tell them that answer the question this way, but it's a wrong answer anyway, they're gonna look at they're gonna poke holes in everything afterwards, every step of the way, and they're gonna learn that shit, right? I'm not gonna lie, because I also learned that shit too, bruh. That there's certain things, bro, that I'm like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Just flat out. And
unlearning.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, it goes against the grain, right? And sometimes it might be against the law, right? But, and then some people are judging you because of it, right? But we're trying to change the paradigm. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we're evolving as human beings. So of course, there's as time progresses, we're gonna see more and more things that we're uncomfortable with, and we're gonna have to decide: is it something that we keep, optimize, or get rid of? You know, that's just how life is. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people just need to stop judging each other and just need to understand that we are like, things are just happening. Like things are on the fucking go. You know what I mean? Just one thing after another, after another. New technology, new accident, new person being born, experiencing all this new shit with all these other new people over and over and over again, bro. Like we can barely keep up with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I would say this.
That, we could ease up on each other if we just understand that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Phantom, to your point, like if you're teaching your kid, hey, this is just the answer is just, get it right. They have to learn, and that's 2 programs. You have to learn. I have to learn the bullshit first, and then I need to learn what the bullshit is, and then I got, we can pass this task. And I feel like that's kind of when, Reese, like you said, that's when they start poking holes at everything. Shit, they'll start poking holes at your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't bullshit.
They're gonna find they'll find all kinds of shortcuts, and then they'll find all kinds of
bullshit you. So it's almost like I just kind of I injected them with a toxic.
No, but that's the scary thing. So that's what's scary about it, bro. That's what's scary about it, because you're giving them the tool so that they can proceed in life, right?
Right.
But you're also giving them the tool that could be that could bear their demise. It could bear their demise, bro, because, you got this person who is finding shortcuts, and finding, might not necessarily be finding shortcuts, but, they're more or less have heretic thoughts in nature.
It's a shortcut system. So.
Dogmatic. They have a dogmatic principle, or they're not, they're outside of the dogmatic principle. You know what I'm saying? So like it can get you in a lot of trouble, man, when you have a different way of thinking. Just be very careful. You know what I'm saying? So if you ingrain that in a child, you just gotta be real careful, man. You don't know what kind of beat. From that point, you better have them underneath the microscope. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what kind of beast you're gonna create from planting that seed. Giving them that knowledge of knowing that they can answer that question, but knowing that question is bullshit. Because then like I said, they're gonna go on in life. They're gonna go to work. They're gonna see some procedures and shit, and it's gonna be up to them to decide. Oh, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna follow this procedure. You know what I mean? And that could be life or death. That's why we have a fucking carbon fiber submersible disappearing in the bottom of the fucking ocean. So that's why I'm saying, like, you got to be careful, man. Like, don't give that knowledge to a child that has, tendencies of being sociopathic or shit like that, bro. Like this, like you don't. That's why you got to be careful, bro.
If they're not, if they're still pure, and then you have to teach them to lie like that, then it's you that altered the path. I feel like but you butterfly affected in a way.
It don't matter if you brought that upon them or not, bro. You're gonna that action itself is gonna influence them no matter what. You know what I mean? So then at that point you bear responsibility. So
I feel like if you're like a conscious individual or whatever, like that's why it's like it's your goal than to also live in a way. Like, you know, your kids are still your kids. So even when they learn shit, they still copy you, you know, whatever you do. Like, I see it all the time. So it's like, it's still up to you then to live in a manner to which they see that and they copy that. Like they take on your principles of like honor, you know, like telling the truth. Like you still have to like instill all of those things and live it, you know. And then that's why, like you said, it is a slippery slope because, you know, there's knowledge and then there's like, you know, principles too. You can't just have knowledge without also having like principles that you live by to be able to, like, what do you do with the knowledge, you know?
Facts.
Like, so
yeah, because then you're just gonna
you have to regulate it. Like
you're gonna run around and do a whole bunch of fuck. Like you're gonna, you know, if you don't teach them the principles and the morals beforehand, they're gonna take that knowledge and they're gonna weaponize it in some form or in some shape or form. You know what I'm saying?
We're living in a society
you know,
of you know, an abundance of knowledge but no principles. So
that's what I'm saying, bro. That's why it's like we can barely keep up with that shit, fam.
Yeah.
So you just got to be careful.
I will say this too. I was talking to my wife and she's like, how come like you were able to pretty much like grasp these concepts that, you know, we talk about some crazy shit, but my mom was into witchcraft and my grandma was into witchcraft. So I feel like that played in, but I was also into Star Wars back in the day, bringing everything back. I was also into Dragon Ball Z and I was also into superheroes, right? And I was also into wrestling, WWE, WWF. And I think I had the shell in order to, one, take in super soldiers and, you know, supernatural phenomena. And I also had the frame to take in everyone's all part of the show to make, you know, wrestling look cool. You know, everything's fake, but we're all working together. So when I go into, you know, looking at politics and I kind of view it that way, I'm like, it's kind of funny now instead of getting charged. And when I hear supernatural, like spiritual phenomenon, I think back like, oh, like Doctor Strange or like Goku type shit. You know what I mean? So in a sense, though, all that shit was the shit that we were talking shit on earlier about, you know, all the subtle sexual innuendos, all the predator and stuff. But somehow it gave me the mental framework to be able to take in these huge concepts. So that way, I guess, in a sense, that act of teaching your kid, hey, these are just the answers, go ahead and do it, it kind of seems to me more like, hey, these are your lines for the wrestling show, just do it. And, you know, you pop in the crowd. And to me, it's like, I'm not lying. I'm just kind of doing an act type shit, you know?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's all it means. It's all it means to an end anyway. You're not sitting here trying to make your child as smart as fucking Einstein or fucking, you know, like fucking, you know what I'm saying? You just want them to live and be happy. And if this is going to help you live and be happy, if being successful and being smart and being educated is going to help you live and be happy, then, man, do the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's somewhat, it's sort of like alchemy, right? Like alchemy is kind of taking anything good, bad, or making it bad. Or you can take something good and make it bad, or you can take something bad and make it good. You can pretty much break it down to what it is and you choose your intent. So even like homeschooling, you know, people say schooling period is to indoctrinate, but you can take it and make it homeschool and even, you know, reap some benefits to where you're not having to spend unnecessary funds on stupid field trips that are probably going to build more into indoctrination. You can make it a family bonding thing where they're going to have an experience that's really going to last because I got to learn this with mom or dad type shit. You know what I mean? Which lasts long too. You know what I mean? So it is pretty crazy. It is alchemy. And I'm kind of playing with this belief now, like getting into all the like black magic, dark shit that we're talking about. I'm like, damn, that shit's interesting. But I never want to dabble with it because of my religious upbringing. But I'm starting to believe that all this shit's available and it's whether you want to tamper it or not. You're going to, you know, everything has universal laws. So there's some practices where you're going to have side effects type shit, you know, but it's almost like, what are you willing to do? Everything's free. Like kind of, I feel like that's the positive side of do what thou wilt, which is Aleister Crowley's thing. You know what I mean? But it got demonized all of a sudden because we're living in a like Christian Catholic world. You know what I mean? So
he was kind of a monster, though.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, let's not beat around the bush. That guy, he was pretty creepy, dog. You know what I'm saying? But,
I mean, that just goes to show you, like, you know, when you have those concepts, and sometimes it just goes so far gone, you know, past. That's why it's like it's always like a balance with that like dark and light shit, you know, whether it's the spirit realm or whatever, because you can't be only light. Like you have to be once you step into this realm, you also have to be able to protect yourself, you know. And that's the crazy thing. It's like sometimes you may have to use a little bit of something else, not the lightest thing, you know. So it's really just that balance.
Right. You're essentially cooking or DJing, you know, is kind of
I mean,
the metaphor for it, I feel.
here's the thing though, right? So sinning, I read somewhere that sinning is doing, you know, committing an act without being fully aware of what's going to happen afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily like, oh, you know, doing things that people think is bad. You know what I'm saying? Actually, the act of sinning is committing an act without actually being aware of the cause and effect. You know what I mean? So the causality of it. So like if you are sitting there, right, and you're going to war and shit, right, and you're just shooting and you don't. I mean, say you're just shooting and you don't know, you have no purpose of shooting, bruh. Then you know that is kind of like an act of sin. But if you're going to war, right, and you're shooting because you're shooting to protect, and you know for damn sure that you're gonna hurt other people when you do it, and you're gonna hurt other families at the same time. You know, you've made the decision based off of that knowledge that you're still going to commit the act anyway. Then that isn't necessarily a sin, right? Because we want all our soldiers to come back safely from their wars and their battles. You feel me? So it's like that's
why
pretty fucking.
That's why the mind
bro.
is a powerful thing. That's a crazy thing. Like, you know, you can play like these mental games that do dictate little gears
like,
that happen.
You're jumping through hoops, man. You're jumping through mental hoops just to fucking justify these acts, bro. That's why I try not to look at this shit all polarized anymore. When somebody says some shit I don't like, bro, I've changed the electric, the synapses, you know, where it fires. I've changed the direction, the neuroplasticity. I've changed, you know what I'm saying? I don't get mad no more. I just smile and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to change your reaction to things, bro, because mainly if you think something's bad, you react bad, and that just brings your energy down, you know what I'm saying? And that's all it is, bro. So I don't look at shit bad, good, none of that. It's just life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just sitting here getting all this information down. You know what I'm saying? I barely keep up, bro. I have to respond to my emotional disposition and get myself in trouble for what?
Yeah, tell me where the popcorn's at. I feel like everything's just a show now, you know.
It is, man.
Let me see, son.
So
it is a fucking show, bro. It's a fucking. I just watched this show. My bad, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's a show called Alice in Borderland on fucking Netflix.
Oh shit, okay.
Where they go? I don't want to spoil it, but they've you know, society is like in ruins, and they got to play these crazy ass games to survive. And then like, if they don't, they got like this counter, and if they don't play a game in some place that's like a life or death game, you know what I'm saying? Then their counter goes down, and then they get their head fucking exploded, bruh. So and they're trying to figure out how, and the whole city's in ruins and shit like that, and they're playing these violent ass games. It's like kind of like, you know, these Squid Game type shit. You know what I mean?
My popcorn moment, real quick, dude. My popcorn moment was a couple of days ago, and I was watching the roast of Tom Brady. Okay,
that shit keeps popping up.
Yo, because Kim Kardashian got roasted.
Yeah, dude. And so on the Kim Kardashian thing, someone was like, "Oh, look at Kim Kardashian over there. Something like this. She looks really worried because her kids are at home with their dad." And in my head, like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I'm a Kanye. Like, I know he might be a little off his rocker, dude, but like, if I were like a judge and I'm like, okay, I am gonna grant custody to one or the other, or like a majority of the custody, dude, in my opinion, dude, it's going straight to fucking Kanye, dude. Fuck Kim Kardashian. She's crazy. But it's a 3-hour roast, bro. 3 hours. And I'm going to warn you, your cheeks are going to be hurting, dude, because you're not going to stop laughing. You will be laughing from start to finish. But some of the things that they were saying, dude, I'm like, dude, this is a fucking stage, bro. This is a movie that we're watching. I mean, it hits on like Tom Brady pretty much admits the Deflategate shit. They bring up like Drake and Kendrick Lamar, P. Diddy, dude, taking it in the ass or whatever. It just, and then like the amount of Jew jokes, right? And we have all these things coming out now about like anti-Semitic and like they're trying to make this like a law where like you can be punished by like jail times or a fine if you say anything that's anti-Semitic. But dude, during these 3 hours on Netflix, they didn't give a fuck, bro. They roast. I mean, it was bad, but it was so fucking good. I mean, I know it's 3 hours. I know it takes a lot of a decent chunk out of your day, but I already spent 3 hours watching it and I'm going to spend another 3 rewatching it. It was fucking hilarious. But at the same time, I remember looking at my fiance like, dude, they're talking about all the things that like we're talking about here, like on this podcast, and we're like digging into it. They're just throwing it out there for all, like, they're like, yeah, man, we're doing all that. We're doing everything that you guys are talking about, all the little conspiracy theories or what have you. We're doing it all. And they're just telling us. And it's just like, right. God damn it, dude. Grab your popcorn, pick your flavor. I like balsamic vinegar and like on my popcorn. I don't know about you guys, but that's my flavor when I watch the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost, well, two things, right? To conspiracy content creators. Oh, I got clips, so that's more content. Oh, look what they saw. They're pretty much confirming that. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin of it, it's almost like you said, putting it in your face. It's almost now they're kind of making it satire,
Well, it's like it's universal law. They have to tell you so they can continue to do these type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because like they can't technically just like do this crazy shit on innocent people, but if they tell you in the form of jest or a movie or like it's a fucking roast, they're like, these are jokes. It's like, you guys are telling the truth in the fucking jokes, how much of a joke is it? You just said the truth and just laughed. Like that wasn't a joke, bro. Like, like it's fucked up.
What I think? Like, okay, we've all dabbled in spirituality and we've all kind of talked about spirits and embodying it, kind of getting possessed by it, and acting's weird, right? Like you're really kind of getting possessed by the character. So like you said about putting it out there, I feel like whatever guilt they have, they let it out that way. So to them, they can look themselves in the mirror of like, I told them right in their face. They laughed at it, Or if they're feeling guilty, they win an award for that scene where they cried their asses off, because it was so dramatic. But really 2 weeks ago, they probably like did some I need a home, whatever word rhymes with that. I don't want to say it, but I need a home, rituals to get to where they're at. But it's weird. They're almost repackaging that energy and they're throwing it out there to be able to get rid of their trash, essentially. Like you said, purge their demons in a sense, so that they could sleep at night. I feel
they're karmic. Okay. They're karma trash. They're getting rid of their karma trash.
Yeah, interesting.
It's safe to say. It's safe to say that based on the clues and all the information that we've gotten, that a vast majority of people in Hollywood, elite and mainstream alike, are heavily dabbling in some sort of magic or some sort of higher, some sort of mystical science, right? So, like, I mean, that's not something that we can really debate about because it's on our fucking dollar bills. So, with that in mind, take acting. Look at acting. Let's observe acting for a moment. What is acting? So, acting, they're capturing a scene, right? It's an idea, has a script, has a story, has characters, has archetypes, has a protagonist, antagonist, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever all the structures of story writing, right?
It's a template.
Of story writing. But
very much.
What are they really doing?
Mm-hmm.
What they're really doing is grabbing an idea which is made out of fucking electromagnetic pulses. So it's going off in the brain, so it's electricity, right? But these pulses are giving off a programming, a coding in such a way that the inner mind can see it in this way. And so, the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then you're getting all that fucking electromagnetic pulse, all that electricity that's going off, all the ones and zeros, all the how the data structured. You're getting that, and you're vibrating it from energy to matter. And that matter is literally the film of the movie film. You know what I'm saying? With pictures and with fucking structured in that way so that it can be ran through the projector in the movie fucking theater.
Shout out Juan. Juan calls it cinemagic.
Yes, it is. It is magic because and then so with that being said, now you are seeing a projection of an idea that was once in someone's fucking head. So that means and from looking at it from a multiverse standpoint, from a quantum standpoint, from quantum physics and shit like that, then it's fair to say that what's happening in that movie actually happened somewhere in the multiverse, and we are just vessels for these informations to come down and come through it. That's why we have all these statues of gods and goddesses and shit, and these depictions of these Bible writings, and these books, the Quran and all this shit, written by prophets with all these messages and shit. You know what I mean? So we are looking at, when we're watching movies, when I watch movies, bro, I look at it like that's something that's going on in the multiverse. And a human on our planet was gifted with the resources and the knowledge and the help to structure that and show us what's happening somewhere off in space and time. You know what I'm saying? So now you have an actor who's portraying a person in a different universe, bruh, showing us, being conveyed the messages, being shown how to act exactly like that person, show us what's happening on that timeline, right? So it's no wonder that Heath Ledger fucking went crazy and killed himself.
Inception,
the fucking Joker.
Inception was a documentary.
You know what I'm saying? You become those people. Those people become you. You become a nexus point between that person and a different fucking and a different verse and you, and you're the nexus point that is fucking displaying what the happenings of that multiverse to the masses of this, of this universe. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like fucking,
Interestingly enough, like
crazy, bro.
Our brand called Cave is inspired by Plato's cave. But if you think about it, we leave a cave, right, where images are projected on the screen. But what are movie theaters? We go into a cave where images are projected on the screen. And it's so powerful that sometimes people cry, or, it reminded me of when I was a kid. Sometimes, bro, like movies are the only way to heal your trauma. You know what I'm saying? Weirdly enough.
Telling ass messages.
Sometimes songs are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just art in general,
Right.
Because so if you think about it, it's like a beautiful way to, go through your trauma. Because it's like trauma's fucked up,
It is magic.
Art at least, it is magic. And, art at least gives us some sort of way to like, make it feel meaningful or like it was for a reason or something, just like make it a little better, I guess.
No, yeah. But in the same way, like you said, I feel like sometimes they create false images that can, if it wasn't loaded in your dreams or in your, situations that you would come across in the multiverse, now it is, because when you go to sleep, and we talked about, dreams being sacred, now you're throwing those ingredients in the mix, and sometimes, like, I'm going to bring this into what we talked about earlier. Sometimes the movies, like, they're made, or there's some songs are sampled from older songs, but sometimes movies are sampled from older stories, right? Sometimes some of the movies we're watching, they're sampled from like occult tales, and sometimes there's actual spells being said in the movies during the lines. I know, like, the soundtrack sometimes makes the movies. It either makes or breaks the movies, and sometimes they put like the craziest soundtracks behind like these occult movies where they're saying spells. One story I know in particular that's a really ancient one is Hamlet. Hamlet was banned before because, first of all, in the surface layer, it was pretty, graphic. There was sex, there was violence, and all that. But really, it was really occult. People thought that some of the spells that they said in Hamlet were real spells and they would evoke real things. I think they're doing that too in certain movies, because you hear stories of like some horror movies where on the set shit was popping off, people were dying left and right. They were smelling sulfur, this and that. They packaged that into a movie, now you got incited with an emotional response.
You want to know who started that shit? Maybe not who started it, but you want to know who's famous for doing that shit? Using magic in their art.
Wizard of Oz?
Merlin?
No, Shakespeare.
I heard Shakespeare.
Shakespeare had all that Venusian artwork and messaging in his art and in his plays, and he was a confidant for John Dee and Edward Kelly. He was a double agent. He was the original 007 apparently, and he was instructed by the Queen of Spain, right? The Queen of Spain to go investigate Morte Lake. You can look. People can look this up. You can Google it. Go investigate Morte Lake. Go see the alchemist transmuting copper into gold.
Yo,
it all goes back to that shit, man.
The last time we talked too, like we talked about the golem, right? And essentially, computers are a cybernetic golem.
Yep.
As the last Inside the Cave, we saw how they broke down rocks and made it into a computer chip. So essentially, like, even these black mirrors were made out of an organic material. And who was known for the golem? Let's not say that like the sect of people, but it's interestingly now, like, we're in a technological age, and there's one group of people that kind of owns all the cybernetic golems right now that we're ChatGPTing and we're communicating with, so it's kind of scary. But interestingly enough, Chef, we talked about the underground tunnels and we talked about Ninja Turtles, and I said, who's the leader? Master Splinter. What's Master Splinter? He's a rat, and whatever connections you want to make with that. But interestingly enough, Disney has a lot of occult tie-ins too. Even before Star Wars, even before Marvel, there was I saw this video of Donald Duck teaching like different like sacred geometric shapes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw that shit. It was hella old school. Like, how on Disney, like, it was when I was a kid, sometimes they would play like old ass Disney stuff. Like it would be hella late at night, like 1, 2 or Walt Disney or some shit. I was a kid and I was staying up late and I literally saw that Donald Duck sacred geometry with the pentagrams and the stars and shit. And that, like, I'm a kid, I didn't even know about sacred geometry yet. But then, like, when I grew up, I was like, damn, like, why are they playing that at 2 a.m.? And why don't we just see that like during the day? Like, just as a kid, let's watch that and let's learn some shit. Like. Even
they need you in that.
You only see that so late at night.
They need you in that sleepy state, bro. It makes it easier. You know what I mean?
What if the original intention of Hollywood was not so?
The time out. Oh, before I let you finish. Who's the main character of Disney? Mickey Mouse, right? What animal is he? Never mind. You can finish, bro.
He's a rat. I was just about to say. What was I saying? I said, "What's the?" I mean. Shit, I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about sacred geometry and Donald Duck.
Oh, I was gonna say, what if the original intent of Hollywood was to actually help us break the matrix, but then it got perverted. You feel me? Not just Hollywood, but like, I mean, just like
I think there's some whistleblower filmmakers out there that are trying to put out the truth, but
because like they're teaching us magic. they're teaching us magic, right? They're essentially putting the secrets there for us so that we can learn how to co-create. But at the same time, then you have other forces that are behind the wheel as well that want to put those symbols in to manipulate us. So they pervert it in certain medias, right? And then you have a sect of people that don't want us to have the knowledge at all. You know what I mean? So then they hella ban shit and censor shit to the point where motherfuckers start burning books, you know, in different countries, you know, and different regimes and shit. You can't even fucking study shit. Like back in the day in China, you would get in trouble for studying quantum physics.
Well, the exception is Stanley Kubrick, and we can talk about Stanley Kubrick too, but even he got canceled before having to kind of, you know, play the game, and that's why he made 2001 Space Odyssey, so they could be like, oh, you can make, you know, space. And then theories are and rumors are that that's the movie that they were like, all right, let's have him film the moon landing. You know what I mean? But I feel like now, like, an example of the macro is if China doesn't like your movie, we're going to go back to the drawing board, bro, because China needs to be accepted in order to get the general release, because we're not going to make that much movie if China's like, we don't want to watch that movie here, you know what I mean? Or you can't film it, or you can't show it here.
They won't make no money.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of board of executives that co-sign whether or not your movie can, you know, even be shown now. But I will say, like YouTube and stuff, there's a lot of independent filmmakers that make real shit, but even YouTube is pretty sensitive. You know what I mean? You can't even say I need a home or Maxine, you know what I'm saying? Because you might get flagged. I hope that doesn't get flagged. But we talked about Hollywood, bro. Like, the holly tree is the wood that they use to make, you know, the magic wand. And I heard, bro, the, you know, knock on wood was to evoke demons, because you're trying to knock on a tree. I think the tree, some kind of cedar tree, and that cedar tree is supposed to be a tree that traps like demons or whatever, you know? So it's crazy, bro. So that's why I kind of don't have really any empathy for Hollywood at all. But for filmmakers, I do. You know, I think that they have a lot of power, and I think there are a lot of other platforms, because you can even like put up a full movie on Twitter now, you know?
What is Hollywood? Define Hollywood. In the sense that we're talking about, I don't mean in the sense of it's a fucking city.
I think at this point, Hollywood is a fraternity, you know? And it's the fraternity of like the sex magic practitioners, you know?
It's also one of the homes. I mean, one of the many homes of like a CIA base is right there in Hollywood.
Yeah, true. And there's that psyop that, you know, music and movies is ran through the filter of CIA before it even gets to come out.
Definitely.
But the interesting thing about Hollywood is, we talked about stars and went inside the cave. There's the Walk of Fame, right? Stars are supposed to be up in the sky, right? Why are there stars on the sidewalk with names of these people that we're worshiping? You know, those are fallen stars, right? Fallen angels. So we talked
Mount
about,
Herman,
you know, everything Nephilims or some kind of aliens, but that's another conversation. But I do think there's a demographic of people that think they're higher than other people, that might have access to ancient magic or some sort of knowledge, like even crystals, you know what I mean? Certain like Wi-Fi emits or Bluetooth emits certain frequencies are harmful, so they probably don't use it because they know that knowledge and they're keeping it away from people. But in the meantime, here, buy these AirPods, bro. You know what I mean? Buy the AirPod 2.0, bro, because they're making money off that shit. So that's
so
when
like
it gets
that
kind
goes
of
into like, you know, like bloodlines and stuff like that. Like even with the presidents and stuff, it's like it's connected. If you look, it's their bloodline. So how you said like people feel like they have these hierarchies, you know, even in like the industry. There's gatekeepers, and then it's like, how do you get through? How do you make it to that next level? You know, some of these people are bloodline of some of the old actors and stuff, or some of them, their parents have signed them over to be inducted into these things, you know? So, yeah. That shit is wicked, though.
Yeah, bro, the biggest stars like Michael Jackson, even Beyonce, they were pretty much groomed by their parents. Nobody knows that, you know? It's interesting.
Well, did you guys?
Britney Spears too? I think Britney too, right?
She got been under her father's thumb.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She got, dude. I was all about the free Britney dude thing because that's fucked up, man. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I was following that shit, and I was like, dude, let's free this bitch, dude.
That
like,
direct deposited to daddy's account, bro.
But did you guys know that Walt Disney was actually a part of this group that was like a subsidiary or like a brother or sister of the Freemasons called the D Malay? And it was
put it past them.
Yeah, dude. So fucking wild. And one of the characters that Disney created, his name is John D. Rocker Duck.
Oh my goodness, putting it out there.
I swear to God, dude. Like, no bullshit. Yeah, I did a deep dive. I got like 2 parts down on Disney. We're gonna do
Rocker Duck.
Rocker Duck. Let
me fucking see that shit.
And he's Joe Reezy. See if you can pull. I can pull it up, but it'd probably be easier for you. But yeah, he was
John D. Rocker Duck.
Yeah, you'll pop him up.
Yep. Oh, he's pretty much Donald Duck, yo.
Here, he looks like Donald Duck, but he's like he's modeled after John D. Rockefeller.
I mean, like you decide what kind of duck he looks like if this duck had a race. You feel me?
He reminds me of like Mr. Burns, dude, from The Simpsons, dude. Is kind of my
Larry H. Parker, bro.
Is that like the basis of Scrooge McDuck or something?
I was gonna say, is that one of the side characters or what?
That's a son. No, so Scrooge McDuck. So Rocker D. McDuck is like Scrooge's son, I believe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's one of Scrooge McDuck's main rivals in Disney comics.
Oh, rivals.
Oh, right.
John D. Rockefeller. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we talked about Jack Parsons and the sex parties in the last episode we had you on. Did you know his name was fucking Marvel?
What?
Who?
Jack Parsons. His original name was Marvel. He was a junior. His dad's name was Marvel Whiteside Parsons, but his mom and his dad divorced, so he went by Jack Parsons instead of Marvel Parsons. And remember, I told you he might have been the inspiration for Doctor Doom. Like, they're really playing with occult shit. We talked about Jack Parsons and the fucking sex magic parties, and
I see.
But
interesting. Yeah, I mean, bro, that's it. I mean, happening behind closed doors, bro. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, man. They smashing atoms in CERN. I'm not surprised about that. You know, they got treaties going on in Antarctica. Can't nobody bring shit back. You know, it's a bunch of shit going on this planet right now, man. We're just playing. We're just playing the game, bro.
Yo,
we just playing a game.
Real quick, not to interrupt, have you guys heard about the solar flares? And did you guys see like the Aurora Borealis? It's supposed to be happening. I think we already missed it.
Yeah, I had chemtrails where I was at, bro. I didn't see shit. I was like, oh, fuckers.
Yeah, I try not to give a fuck about those anomalies, man. Like, I'll see the anomaly if it chooses me, man. Like the UFO that I saw a few days before I went to the Philippines, man. Like, there's nothing else on this planet that could trip me out more than a UFO, man. You know, because we already know that eclipses and shit happen, man. But this UFO shit is still skepticism. So when I see that shit and I have people next to me confirming what I'm seeing, bro, and I get one of those fucked up, grainy, fucking last minute videos that last 20 seconds, man. I'm always judging people because of their videos. This was a garbage ass video. And then I get one myself. It's like the aliens is making you fucking take these fucked up, grainy ass videos, bruh. But I got one, man. I'm not surprised about it. I'm not surprised about anything anymore, man.
Yeah, man. They're always going to be grainy. You know, that's kind of part of it.
That shit was retarded, man. I put my camera up. We was looking at that shit for like a hot minute, man. We were all sitting there like, is that shit real, man? Like, what? That's not a plane. I was like, it's cloudy as shit, bro. I was like, how we gonna see a plane through that shit? And it's one red light. It's not beep. It's not flashing, nothing like that. I pull my camera out. It's in the middle of my camera. That shit fades into fucking obscurity, bro. You can't even fucking see that. I'm like, vanishes in the camera. I'm like,
interesting.
this is fucking crazy.
Chef, you brought up portals. You know, if these aliens or these UFOs are coming from portals, then your camera is not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
They seen the camera, bro, and they disappeared.
It's interesting though,
looking at this shit.
We talked about, you know, sex magic and, you know, babies kind of being a portal interdimensionally for souls to kind of come in. But did you guys see, this is popping on Twitter right now. It was old. I don't know when it happened, but it's resurfacing. Elijah's in here. What up, Elijah?
Cannon gang.
There's this ritual they had at CERN, and they had this like chick dancing. Did you guys see that video?
Bro, that shit was weird.
The whole that they be having crazy ass fucking rituals.
Hoax or not, you know what this looks like some oracle shit. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of trying to summon like Lilith or something into her.
Channeling or something like
Lilith.
Yo,
that
what
looks
is
like
that?
possession shit. Like
she dancing like she ride like a boss.
So,
like, how do people not find it weird that this, like, we're talking about what is it supposed to be, fucking science and like crashing fucking atoms? And, like, did you even see the other ritual where they have like the goat dude and there's like people hanging from strings and weird ass shit on the fucking screen? And it's like, what does this have to do with quantum physics and particles? And they have,
bro,
like, statues in front of, like, you guys are fucking dumb if you think that this is. Oh, what's that show called? What is it called? Like Three Body Problem or something? It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then like they straight up tell you like there's more hadron colliders than that one. Like I don't think I really grasped that. They have these fucking things all over the fucking world, dude. So like they're smashing atoms all over the world. Like
there's like over 20,000.
Yeah, like
that's crazy.
How have we not just like collapsed our dimension already? Like
supposedly we already did. Supposedly, you know, supposedly
she was
we
getting
already
astral
did.
fucked.
Supposedly it happens too fast for our senses to perceive it. So like
well, some people
when
say
something gets sucked in, we all get it.
The solar flare tampered, you know, with reality in a sense, you know. Also, they say that solar eclipse, they say tampered with reality too, apparently.
Yeah, that shit has some magical properties for sure.
So like with the solar flares, like I was hearing today, so you got to imagine the light can carry information or data, you know? So the fucking sun is shooting off such large amounts of clouds of just light and photons. And in quantum physics, the photon can be a wave or a particle. You know what I'm saying? Like depending on the consciousness of the user, when you stare at it, you collapse the wave. The wave is like infinite possibilities. Then the observer collapses it into a particle. So now you got to imagine we have all these light particles. Like if our Earth is being bombarded by this, then it's like, so there's massive amounts of energy that can be transmuted or, you know, alchemized into fucking whatever the fuck we want it to be, really, you know? And that's what's so like crazy about these times is they really try to distract you from knowing that this is going on so that you can't take advantage of these things that are going on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. That's why they chemtrailed me, bro. I had I had a solar energizer fucking.
They put the jet to your nose?
Yeah, they fucking put some chemtrails up there. But no, I agree with that. I think, you know, that's where I feel like sometimes the conspiracy theories kind of sway from the actual thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like it's almost like, oh shit, you gave me an idea. That's a good one. You know what I mean? I didn't even think of that. So now let me pump this shit, or let me use the algorithm to pump this shit, you know? When really sometimes like the fact that if a solar flare happens, just if you don't have to look too deep into it, like obviously there would be, you know, an excess amount of energy if there's already solar energy around, you know what I mean? And you can harness that or use it. So I think the sun's a living being, man. It's interesting. But yeah, what were you saying?
Have you heard like it's like should like be able to fuck with like technology too, like tamper with it, you know, like glitch it out and stuff like that too? Solar flares. Yeah,
and now you kind of get into like AI versus God, because that's essentially what it goes to, right? God versus
that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Space is very unfriendly to technology, bro. So that first and foremost, that's one thing that humans have to take into consideration. Is very unfriendly and very costly for us to interface technology with outer space, bro.
And as far as fallen angel goes, bro, and it's interesting enough, if you look at lightning, that looks like energy coming down. Now, if you can harness that, like what computers, you're harnessing electricity, which essentially Thor, right? Or Zeus's power, you got it in a chip in a phone. Essentially, that's a fallen god. You know what I mean? It materialized here in this like 3D dimension now. So the sun versus devil thing, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
It's kind of like that show American Gods, because it's like, you know, as the times shift, it's like, now how does this god garner like attention, or like what does it do in this time period? That's why they had like the old gods and the new gods. You know, the new gods were technology, this, that. These ancient gods weren't getting prayed to anymore, so they had to find like a different way to get people's attention, like in our current society and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, people have new gods now, man. Twitter, Instagram, Snap, OF.
Did you guys hear that they turned the CERN
sacrifice to the OF god? Huh?
They turned the CERN portal on. Rumor has it that they turned the CERN portal on.
Man, there's a rumor that they always turn that shit on.
Mm-hmm. And what's it called? Possibly during the solar flare, which makes it interesting because, you know, the last episode, I think we talked about the White Rabbit Project and how the White Rabbit Project is a series of CERN experiments that have to happen at like the right amount, at the right time. You know, they can't be a second off or else it fucks everything. And
I heard that. Go ahead. You know, my bad. Go ahead.
You know what it reminded me of, bro? It reminded me of, and it's crazy how it goes back to Disney, Marvel. You know, it reminded me of Endgame when they took the Infinity Stones. Now they have to put it back. Otherwise, they fuck with the universe. Who knows, man? Man, you talked about movies and them kind of hijacking our multi-dimension. Maybe they are, bro. Maybe that the Mandela effect's been linked with CERN too. Maybe that's what this is. They're pulling different realities and trying to make like a perfect collage of a timeline for them. You know what I mean? Interesting.
Did you see Loki? Like Loki's pretty dope with like showing the timeline and the world tree and shit. He turned into the timeline. So yeah, they're definitely fucking with altering timelines. I mean, man, I forgot what the experiment was, like Philadelphia experiment or one of them where they have like a chair and they're like, or they have like the looking glass technology where they can like look into different, like, I guess they can only see like, you know, if there's so many different possibilities, are they only seeing one potential possibility? They can't be seeing like an absolute future. You know what I mean? Even just them seeing it now probably alters, you know, that shit changing or not, you know?
Yeah, like you observing it kind of butterfly affected in a way.
Okay, so here's an idea.
Yeah.
Here's an idea then. You have an invention. You observe it, your invention in your head. You create the schematics and everything. Then you turn that thought, which is an electromagnetic current, into electromagnetic wave. Then you use the electromagnetic waves to alter matter to bring your idea down. Now that your idea is in physical, in your hands, and you're looking at it, observing it in 3D through your 2D lens, does that mean you were looking in the future when you imagined it before it was created? So like now shit's getting kind of twisted and convoluted. Because if you imagine something and you create it, then that means you were looking into the future when you were imagining it. So that means you can just simply look into the future just by using your imagination.
That's what we talked about too, about dreams, right? You can live lifetimes in dreams, and you slept 2 hours, you know? You live like a whole like sequence of scenarios that taught you a life lesson. Now when you go down an alley, you know not to go down alone type shit. You know what I'm saying? You almost downloaded that knowledge from that life, you know? It's like video games.
One dream taught me to always look over my back, man, because I got shot in the dream, and then the person was looking over me. I fell down the stairs. I looked up, and the person was me. So that dream was symbolic for me killing something off right inside of me that needed to go. You know what I mean? And of course, I go back to that dream when I need to kill something off, when I need to change. But it all goes back to the idea I was talking about movies, about actors showing us a scene from the multiverse. And our imaginations and our ideas are showing us scenes from the multiverse too. Here's a question though. Exactly where in the multiverse is it showing you? Is it showing you different timelines, or is it
Oh,
showing you your
bro.
time? Is it showing
Oh,
you
bro.
your timeline?
Let me
So that's
spice
what
this
I'm
up a little
saying,
bit.
bro. That's
What
what I'm
if
saying. If you have an idea, man,
what if
you're looking at the future.
what if they're trying to show you the timeline that they came from because they're not even from this timeline type shit?
Who's they? Oh, the actor?
Well, now we get into the people that like the ancient Egyptians that kind of try to, preserve their body, and you get into the conspiracy theory of, Jay-Z's a time traveler, you get into Saint Germain, Count Saint Germain, and all even Moses, the people there that didn't die, and
like
could
ascended
say,
masters and stuff.
yeah, their spirit or their electricity is still here. I just need a new phone or new crystal to take form in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Thoth was like one of the main ones who kicked that shit off, switching bodies and reincarnating back in a later time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
Who knows?
seen Altered?
Maybe that's why they're like, we got to make a CERN everywhere,
You seen
so we can
Altered
bring the
Carbon?
brothers in here. The homies need to come through.
You seen Altered Carbon on Netflix?
No, I haven't.
The Anthony Mackie's in the second season. Well, Altered Carbon, basically, I think they had like this promotion back in like 2019, 2018 or something like that at like an expo. They had like somebody's body.
Bodysuits, yep.
Yeah, and they were like, you could switch your fucking consciousness into this body. Or they had like this promotion and people were like flipping out, taking it seriously. And then they were like, no, we're just promoting a fucking show that's coming out on Netflix.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
like the theme, right? You can upload your mind into different bodies and shit. And the main, I'm not going to spoil too much, but the main character, he's a part of a military group that is basically trying to fight against living forever. They want to, because they have a whole bunch of oligarchs that are living forever, and then they're also making the normal working class people. They got you in a system where you re-upload into a new sleeve, into a new body or whatever. It's not your original body after a certain amount of time or whatever, bro. And you just remain a working fucking slave for them. Just stuck in a perpetual fucking reincarnation, getting uploaded into the next sleeve, and shit like that. I mean, you could choose not to, of course, because of like religious fucking purposes or whatever. But like the people that just choose to just keep getting reincarnated, they just stuck in the system, bro. You know what I mean?
You know what it reminds me of? It goes back to what we talked about. It goes back to kids making decisions about their genders at a young age. That's like us making spiritual decisions as a baby human still. You know what I mean? Like, who knows if we're going to want to be on Earth like infinity years from now? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
yeah, exactly.
I want to be Earth. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like a vessel in Earth. I want to be another planet. I don't even want to be in this timeline. You're limiting yourself by committing to this.
Like you can't
computer
drink,
magic.
you can't do all this stuff, but you can get a surgery. Like that's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like
Right.
that, and those are irreversible things. Like you fucking drink and you can not drink when you get older. You know what I'm saying? Or like fucking smoke or something. Like, but like surgery is it's irreversible, bro.
And the surgery isn't even like mastered yet. Like you have to come back because we fucked it up, or like, hey, there's a new method in order to tuck that wiener in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like it's kind of fucked up because they also don't tell people. Like I've seen a lot of things come out where people are like, yeah, I got this surgery and it's actually not that good, like health wise. Like it keeps fucking up. I have to keep like they don't, and it's almost like it's more of the industry of selling things, selling the surgery. Like you still have to pay to get this shit, So now they're trying to just sell this shit. It seems like no matter what the side effects are, like
it's not even the fact. You're right. It's not even like the fact that they're trying to support people's decision to switch genders. It's just more of an economical kind of like machine that is supporting transhumanism in general.
With just consumers that are likely to sign.
Just like you have the choice to fucking change your body. You know what I'm saying? Like soon you're just going to be a microchip and you can just upload into any fucking body you want. You want to be you associate as a woman? Got you. You want to be a man? Cool. You want to be a fucking monkey? Done. We put you in the monkey sleeve. You want to be a doorknob. You want us to upload you into a doorknob so you could experience the consciousness of a doorknob? Here, they're fucking bio doorknobs.
Hey,
Made by fucking Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck is going on?
Oh, hey, you guys know who's helping out with this and pushing this? I'm going back to Disney. So Disney, they have a little program where they have these little facilities, these little medical facilities, right? So if you go in, you take your kids in, these are facts, by the way. You take your kids in, and if you just go get a consultation, you don't even sign an agreement for a surgery, just a consultation. Guess what you get? You get 1 year of Disney Plus paid for.
Oh my gosh.
But then it gets better. If you decide to go through with the surgery, you get a 1 year pass to the Disney parks. So they're incentivizing these children and these parents.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I think adults that have a fucking, I don't know how else to say this. This is the only thing that's coming to my mind. I'm just going to say it. They get a fucking boner over going to Disney. Like, you're fucking 40 years old and you go to Disney all the time. Like, woo! Like, that's fucking weird, dude. To me, that's weird. Like, you have season passes and you go every fucking year, like, to ride the same fucking ride. Well, like, that's a little weird to me.
Chef. Families going there would to bring their kids that are indoctrinated. I get that. But to play devil's advocate, but now to support your point, let's say I'm a kid that got that surgery. I'm going to want to feel normalized because, I did a surgery that I probably have to keep doing reconstructive surgery down the line. Now I'm in a park with older people that have those surgery too, because they have like gay day and they cater to transgender people. Now I don't feel so alone. But at the same time, now you fall into a bunch of predators because like the Vitaly video, they're everywhere, bro. You know what I mean? But now you're having them have a safe space to meet because the people with passes, like if you're in middle school, like, hey, mom, can we go to Disneyland? Richard has a pass too. Now, instead of, when we grew up, we go to the movies or we go to they go to Disney together. And who else goes to Disney? Goes fucked up, sometimes on ecstasy type shit. You know what I mean?
True. But what happened to market night, bro? Where you just go roll around with your homies and just go
no, bro.
I grew up with Morgan, but we were also kind of poor, dude. So Disneyland was not a part of the option. And to be quite honest with you, as I just got done shitting on a lot of people, I really do want my kids to experience Disneyland. I know this might be controversial, but if it's possible, I'm probably I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking sew Apple AirTags into all their fucking clothes. And I remember when I was first a parent, someone was like, you need to put if you're going to large crowds, put a leash on your kid. I'm like, I'm not putting no goddamn leash on my fucking kid. You're out of your goddamn mind, dude. Fast forward to 2024. I'm like, oh yeah, they're getting leashes, dude. Or digital leashes. I have no problem. I'll go spend a couple $100 on the AirTag so I can make sure, dude. I let my daughter go today for the first time, walk 6 houses up to the fucking liquor store with her friend to go buy a piece of candy, dude. I gave her 4 quarters. That's what I got when I was a kid. You got 4 quarters and whatever you can get with it. So I get it, dude. And I'm not completely shitting, but there's just something weird, dude. For me, I get it. You wanting to take your children to Disneyland, but grown ass adults. I met these people at Coppola and they got married and they were fucking weird, dude. They were fucking weird. They go, no bullshit. They went to Disneyland. They lived down in is it in LA? Where's it at?
LA, and then Florida, there's one too.
Yeah,
right?
LA or Florida's got the Disney World and then Disneyland. I'm from Southern California. I just don't go down there a whole lot. But this couple, they got married there, and she even had a Tinkerbell fucking wedding ring or whatever. But they were telling me, dude, they went 300 days out of the year they went to Disneyland. I'm first of all, how the fuck can you afford that? Okay, you got a year pass, fine. Unless you're eating the peanut butter and jellies in the parking lot, Like, how the fuck can you have like that's not?
Yeah, man.
And these were like younger cats than I was, but that to me, that's fucking weird.
That's super weird, bro.
Like you have been masterly programmed to go see Magic Mountain for the fucking 300th time that year. That's fucking weird to me. And like they sit on the teacups together and like
living off of mommy and daddy's life insurances.
Have you like heard of that
going to
concept
Disneyland
that,
for infinity?
Some people are like NPCs, like non-playable characters, like they're not even fucking real. That literally sounds like NPC activity.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can't do the same thing for 300 days. Like, so you're telling me for hella days in a row, y'all just went like, what? You go to work and then you go to Disneyland right after?
It makes it worth it, bro.
Put that in your fucking schedule, dog. Like, like I mean, stupid. Like,
whatever. You know, at this point, like I said, bro,
this MK Ultra, bro.
This world is just so fucking random, bro. Like, motherfucker, just do whatever, man. Just do whatever.
NPC for sure, though.
Just do whatever, bro.
So that's like the surface
motherfuckers
level.
can choose to be at Disneyland for a vast majority of their fucking life, and it's whatever, bro.
When you see it from the eyes of like energy harvesting and like the fact that these, you know, characters are based on occult shit, now it gets kind of weird to send your kids there. Now it gets kind of weird to go there every day. Now the people that take their kids there every day kind of look sus. You know what I mean? It's like you're bringing them to the fucking palace. You know what I'm saying?
It's like motherfuckers is in Hogwarts, but Hogwarts is but Hogwarts is pretending not to be Hogwarts.
Like a Shrek Hogwarts kind of.
Shrek.
It's like you know, it's like Monsters Inc., bro. Like the thing is there, but it's acting like it's not there. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, and I feel like in this day and age, it's like, how have you not heard that there's fucking weird shit going on there? Like for these people who turned a blind eye to this shit, I'm like, it's pretty much out there even if you don't search for it. So now it's kind of weird if you don't know. Like you're acting like you don't know, but you fucking know.
You know what I know, but you know what I think is, you know what I think is weird is that like we always talk about those people who don't believe that this magic shit and these rituals and all this shit's happening. But for a vast majority of my life, all I remember is people appropriating those ideas that I had and those skepticisms that I had. Even my own mother was like believing like that there's people doing that fucking crazy shit, ritualistic shit. Like older cousins, you know, friends, people in passing, just in casual conversation, just about every person that I've ever come across has agreed with the fact that there's oligarchs, elites, rich and powerful people doing some weird shit behind closed doors. Everybody knows, everybody's known. So who exactly are we talking about when we're saying the people that are saying that this isn't true? Because I haven't heard anybody say that this shit ain't true. Everybody believes this shit.
I mean, bro, let's go, 5 years back? 10 like, I've been fucking in conspiracy realm since, like, 2012, and it's, like, definitely back then, nobody believed any of this shit. Like, now, like, I feel like it is, like, now, what it is, now is it's cool to say that you think that's real. You know, back then, it was like, you're fucking crazy, dude. Like, you believe in that shit? Now it's kind of like, you don't believe in that? What's wrong with you, dude?
No, a great example of that is Flat Earth, right? Flat Earth around the time Kyrie Irving was, you know, kind of even shy to come out with Flat Earth. You know, he would get, I feel like, gaslit for even thinking about it, you know. So there are people that kind of know that the truth is the truth, but they'll gaslight you in order. That's what we get into the you know what I mean? Why I don't want to talk about what I don't want to talk about, because, you know, it's very vague. Now I can, even the LGBTQ, you know, I can be offended about anything, even though that gender isn't even, like, even if I'm freestyled and made that shit on the spot, you know, I'm a masochist. Don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is
vague with like things that you are offended by. You know what I mean?
We have to specify who we're talking about when we're saying who's saying that these conspiracies aren't real. Are we talking about the people being targeted by the conspiracies? Are we talking about random supporters? Are we talking about random people commenting in the section? You know, That's what I mean. That's
a multi-layered answer.
Because if you're talking about somebody who's actually going out there, has a message and is saying that this shit is incorrect, then okay, then you do have opposition. You do have a visible opposition, and there's something there. But if there's if everybody believes that they're doing this shit and there's nobody there disputing that, then there's no argument that this shit's happening. You know what I mean? That's my thing about it. Like, there's nobody, it's coming out now, all this fucking sexual predator shit, just like y'all said, is being documented, is being captured. But that's because it must have been mentally and socially, it must have been accepted that was going on back in the day. Because these kind of projects and these kind of things take time to kind of fester and blossom and
okay. Let me just cut you off and say, if you want to know who I think is they, I can't say, but I will text you and call you right after this. Because, like I said, I don't want to get the podcast canceled, man. I think it's pretty obvious.
My bad, dude. My bad.
There's one sect of people, and I don't mean to say it, but let's just be honest. If there were turtles and there were humanoids, and in every land they went, they got kicked out. And in every land they went, they captured a little magical practice. And now they're perverting that magical practice. And now they're kind of gaslighting themselves to the top to where now you can't even question what I'm doing because why, dude? You're being that word that I don't want to say. You know what I mean? But in the same time, you're using computer, which is based off my magical system. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't say who they are, but you use your imagination. You know what I mean? Now, who is questioning these conspiracy theories? Like I said, it's a multi-layered answer. I think, like we talked about, like some plants don't even know that they're plants. A good example are the protests. A lot of people who went out and protest for whatever they're protesting about, they really, and just like the movies, they really felt an emotional drive in order to do it to the point that they took it as their hill to die on. How embarrassing it is to find out next week that shit was fake and gay, and you were out there with your shirt off, crumping to the security guards and shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come out and say, yeah, I was wrong. So, naturally, I'm probably going to defend it till I die, because all my homies still think it's true. And I have this PSYOP group that's still trying to activate that agenda. So I still got my crew. We still think that even though we're fake, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? And guess who's funding that? The group that I can't talk about. You know what I mean?
I went to the protest, man, to observe the anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I stood for a side thinking I was doing the right thing, dude. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I put some thought into whether I was doing the right thing or whether I was or wasn't. I came to the conclusion that my mind, did not have all the information, on the George Floyd stuff, you know what I mean? All the stuff, like, even if I did have all the information, what of it? I didn't see it personally. So I can't really... It's all speculation. It's all just a telephone game. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, I don't even try to place my own judgment on it, bro. I'm not a part of the judicial system that's taking care of that. I'm not a cog in that machine, so I can't really say shit or even have an opinion. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's how I felt about it. But I was there with a mask on the news, so that I could observe.
Wait, what kind? N95 or what? Just kidding.
The mask right behind me.
Okay. I thought you were wearing those.
Oh God, I thought you said.
Because around the time, you had to wear an N95 or something.
Well, yeah, I had an N95. No, I had a mask underneath that too. Yeah, because everybody, that was when COVID was popping.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, man, I was like, fuck it, man. Cyberpunk. If this is the fucking beginning of the end, I want to witness this shit. So I'm masked up. You fucking have a weapon on me. Went out with some people. I was observing the anarchy that could have unfolded. A little bit of shit happened. Nothing too crazy. I was just watching because I was like, yeah, this is where the world's at right now. I'm just taking it all in. Desensitizing. Because get used to that shit.
Yo, now that you look back on it was psyops on psyops on psyops on psyops.
Yeah, it was a fucked up time,
and now if you I kind of have sympathy for people that kind of played into the propaganda, not knowing they're a part of it. It was based on fear, and that's kind of the fucked up thing. And we go back to movies, like, art. When you evoke a deep emotional connection and you make someone cry, that's when it's beautiful. But what's the black magic of that? Let's use that to make this person mad in order for them to protest. You know what I mean? Let's show them an image and alter that scene to make them really mad, and let's flood the fucking news with that shit. Fucking social media too. You know what I mean?
The area of time. The area of our timeline was fucked up, bro.
And I think, hold up, with social media too, I think the people that are in charge kind of turning those knobs and shit, they have a good lifetime survey of what's working and what's not and who's going to fall for what tactics. It's like, oh shit, now let's run, phase B or phase C or whatever. So that's kind of my hypothesis of what's going on. We can talk about labels after that when we're not on YouTube. But
it's because everything's being run by black projects, being government funded black projects. And you can't keep track of all of them, bro. You can't keep track of all of them. And now the motherfuckers running rogue.
Yeah.
I have to say, dude,
all kinds of technology and just fucking up the world, bro. Put the technology out, no regulation. Give it to this company, give them the patent, let them sell it, let them fucking manufacture it. Let's go outsource the manufacturing in a different country so we could save some money. All fucking NDAs for everybody. Fucking, it's like, bruh.
Just to drive this home. Just to drive this home, Chef, that conversation we had on the last episode with MH370 and the patents, like, you know what I mean? Like, it ties everything in of like who's running things, because he's also part of the gang. You know what I'm saying? Hydra. I agree. I call him Hydra.
I agree, man. And I really want to do a show all on some of the fucking on the cave. I want to do a show. All on some of the wildest patents. I mean, dude, one of them, I forgot the name of the patent, but there's a fucking patent on walking through walls.
Yeah.
Like being able to go through fucking walls, like energetically. It's fucking wild, dude. And let's not even talk about like the Apple AirPod fucking patents where it's literally like recording your brainwaves.
I refuse to read that, man, because
I switched, dude. I just made the switch after like a little over a year of doing podcasts and what have you. I always had my wireless earbuds because like I always like earlier my cat was jumping around and damn near ripped these out of, and like these are like 50 bones, dude. But anyhow, I switched to the wired, dude. Like I can't do the wireless no more. I decided like I can't fucking do it. What we got here?
The invention is a training system which enables a human being to acquire sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of dimension so that the person can walk through solid objects such as wooden doors. We spoke about this. Like,
what is it? What kind of system did it say?
It's a invention. This invention is a training system which enables a human being to acquire sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of dimension so that the person can walk through solid.
Okay, so where the user manual at?
You can find that on our Patreon. That's actually that's capable.
What's that bitch cost?
Damn, man.
The PDF, gang. The homie trying to see that shit.
So
it's licks, man.
It's crazy, bro. I mean, that's why we can't have everybody doing this. We just be going in and out the banks, and who owns the banks?
I mean, I wouldn't. If I had those capabilities, bro, like I would have my own little timeline. You feel me? Like, oh fuck, I'll change the world so much. That'd be a whole different. That would be essentially O'Reese's timeline. That would branch off and just be some crazy shit, bro. Whole world go flip upside down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just imagine somebody with all that power, bro.
You know what that makes me think of, and kind of relates to the Bluetooth headphones too, is magic essentially is being able to tamper with stuff that affects the external, but it's magic because you can see it, and it's science if you can kind of label it and see it now, right? Bluetooth and wireless shit, Wi-Fi, that's magic still, you know what I mean? It's faith that we're calling it Bluetooth. and Wi-Fi, right? But still, we can somehow harness it. So I feel like this. Look at this. Allow you to pull your body out of the dimension. That seems like you being able to harness your kind of Bluetooth, radiation almost, and kind of. It sounds like some fucking Nightcrawler poofing shit.
So explain the mechanics. Can you say the mechanics for me one more time?
So it acquires sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of this dimension so that the person can walk through solid objects.
Okay, so what the fuck is hyperspace energy? Because we all understand what hyperspace is. Is this energy harvested from hyperspace or energy used to acquire, hyperspace, access to it?
It sounds like
your own.
Yeah,
I think it's your own. It's you got it. Like it sounds like from what I've listened to and what the videos that I've watched on it, like you have the capability to, like we all got the capability to do so.
No, but I'm wondering, like this energy that they're talking about, I'm just trying to understand the mechanics behind it because they're saying that you're accessing hyperspace energy, right? But what exactly is that hyperspace energy? Is it anti-gravity? Is it antimatter? Is it fucking what is it?
So
that's not a scientific term. That's just some fucking words put together. What's the fucking actual term for it? Is what I'm wondering.
I think it's muddied for a reason. So you go into a dead end.
They could have at least said some shit like it's prana, it's chakra. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like the fuck is this energy, bro?
To speculate, I think CERN knows because CERN smashes particles. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So if they have an actual particle like a name for that, then I mean they got all kinds of fucking names for quantum particles, bro. At this point, that's just
because is it your physical body dematerializing and then rematerializing, or is it like your astral energy body? Like are they talking about literally your physical body, like?
Or are you using
combining?
Or are you using that energy to create singularities on both ends so that you can create a warp in space? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you need. You need two quantum singularities to create a warp for you to essentially. That's what their idea is.
Yo, this is nuts, bro. This is actually really crazy because it looks like chakra points right here.
Yeah, those spots.
That's insane because that's literally the spiral. And the
that's like your kundalini, the kundalini energy that rises up the spine,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, leave it right there. This invention is a training. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
So let's see. U.S. Who has an inventor? John. Okay, so look up that fucker's name. Go up real quick.
John St. Clair.
Who the
John
fuck
St. Clair's I mean, that guy. His name kind of ring not the fucking football player. He's talented, bro.
Man, he does.
That nigga.
He on the field teleporting. You better watch out.
John St. Clair. Yeah, that was the right name. So that's also a thing. I think the algorithm knows when you're getting close to the truth, and then they'll put someone who has the same name in order to muddy the water. One example I had was around the time Jeffrey Epstein was getting in trouble, who popped up out of nowhere and got featured on Netflix. Jeffrey Dahmer. Now when you type Jeffrey, it's not going to be Jeffrey Epstein. It's going to be Jeffrey Dahmer. So it's pretty interesting.
Controlling that shit.
Same with John St. Clair, I think.
I feel like okay, so kind of just like to talk about that. I feel like I don't feel like it's just one singular group or entity that's controlling things.
Yeah.
I think that there's multiple cabals, secret cabals that have been doing their shit for so fucking long, and now the world has gotten a little bit too small for everybody. And that's why we're seeing all this conflict of people getting caught up, this, that, and the third. Doesn't matter what fucking side of the field they're from. You know what I mean? These guys,
so
you know what I mean? Because
posted The patent suggests that specific combinations of electromagnetic fields and resonant frequencies can create localized spatial distortion, enabling an individual to move through solid barriers. So you're making a portal. It's almost like a portal.
Yeah, portal. It sounds like
They're using
Yeah.
electricity and sound. That's what it is. Because you said
Frequency,
electric
resonant
Yeah,
frequency.
and
Yeah.
resonance frequency. So it's electricity and sound.
Well,
And a lot of
let's tie this in. You think crystals possibly too?
scientists, some scientists have been coming out and saying that the world is not moving simply off of just gravity, and that actually the universe is like electrically charged. You feel me?
Electric universe theory.
Yeah. So like shit happens because of electricity. And so
before they treat that as new flat earth, bro, because that's going to be the new thing. They paid too much money on gravity to get that shit fucking defunded, I think.
It's a pretty interesting theory because they're talking about how the planets are not affected because of like certain gravitational forces. It's more so every time like an electrical charge surges through your galaxy and it scrambles everything, and then so it makes all the planets go crazy, all the satellites go crazy, and that's what creates those intergalactic anomalies, shifting the planets and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we could go on and on about this shit, but this phasing through walls shit, I'm gonna need to do some more research on this.
Yeah, let's practice.
But my first question, my mind makes me want to be more inquisitive, right? When I see shit like that, so I'm like, okay, so what is the science behind it? Okay, so there's a science behind it. Okay, who wrote this shit? Try to find who the fuck wrote this shit. If you can't, keep searching. Once you do find out who the fuck does he work with, figure out who else he works with. Find other things, other patents similar that are categorized in that nature. Find all those fucking people who fucking have patents on that. Figure out who the fuck all those fucking people are. Figure out which one that we can get our fucking hands on and make fucking public domain.
And keep it on the low because you don't want to get,
Keep it on the low. No, the only way to
you want to get pop.
No, the only way to ensure that you won't get fucking shot is if you make it public domain instantly. They can't shoot everybody.
Well, what about the guy who made the water engine, the hydrogen engine? That guy
If he had gone out with the patent right the fuck away before anybody could stop him, bro, and just made it fucking public right away, bro.
That's where I go back to everything is Hydra. You know what I mean? We talked about everyone being connected, and it goes back to what we said about the MH370 flight. Like if let's say Phantom is my private pilot, right? And you have a patent for something that I want, and you're flying to Canada in order to sign the patent. Phantom can be part of Hydra or whatever, or we could be part of the same religion. And he's like, hey man, what you want me to do? This guy's in the patent because he knows he's got a cut too, and it elevates us all. So like even if you have the patent and you're doing the right things, I feel like I said, Hydra, you don't know who these motherfuckers are. And this is the thing, you can't even say a certain name anymore because back then I feel like you could tag it to like Nazis or you could tag it to someone. But I feel like, when the World War II ended and America absorbed Nazis, now you don't even know who to point the finger to because they all look like us. And since America is a melting pot, you don't even know, Asian, Mexican, I don't know, they're American, you know what I mean? It's kind of a blessing and a curse. And the curse is almost like, hey, now we have a bunch of people and now they don't know who the MK Ultra agents are.
Shit, bro. Even on the streets, bro, I could be passing fucking MS-13 and not even fucking know it. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. He works at Starbucks, and he knows your name every morning because he's well trained. No accent at all. Shit, bro.
Like you don't know who the fuck you're walking past, bro. That's why, you gotta be careful, man.
Yeah, just to take us out of the rabbit hole, man, because we started out with Star Wars and we got into some black magic stuff. But did you guys know that Yoda was based on like a demon that was like conjured by Alphys Levi? Those fucking images of him. Don't he look like Yoda?
I did hear
What the
some shit about
fuck?
him. I did hear some shit about him being a demon, bro.
Yeah, man. And it's interesting because Star Wars, you know, I was watching Planet of the Apes, like I said today, and I'm critical about movies. So there were some scenes where I was like, damn, that shit's stupid, man. It could have been more realistic. But at the same time, like, how realistic can Planet of the Apes really be? But at the same time, I feel like if there was a drug that could make animals spark, then, you know, that's when I suspend belief because of that variable. I heard this sermon that said the reason people buy into stories is because they're based on reality. If someone just bought a bunch of fiction, then there'd be a bunch of bullshit artists that are successful. You know what I mean? So even bullshit artists try to kind of base it on somewhat of truth, and then they go crazy after that. What's interesting about Star Wars, I feel like, you know, some people are hard on it about, you know, oh, this is not realistic. But at the same time, you can also argue it's fucking Star Wars. How realistic can it be? But at the same time, like, it is based on a lot of occult practice. We just looked at Yoda, you know, the Death Star is essentially fake moon, you know, and it deals with direct energy weapons like lasers and shit.
Man,
And
I
the
was
Force.
just gonna say, George Lucas, dude, like, he got the whole story from Star Wars. It's like the ancient battle of like the fucking reptilians and like another race, probably the Lyrans or something, you know. But that's a literal like an ancient war battle, and he just rewrote it, you know,
Yeah,
pretty much.
it's
You know what I'm
it's supposed to be it's actually supposed to be the war that happened in the Pleiades.
No way, for real?
The Pleiades star system, the seven stars, or seven sisters. The seven sisters, what they call it. You can see 6 stars apparently, but it's 7 of them. One's hidden. Don't quote me on all their names, but
Wow, this is new.
yeah,
Crazy.
this actually we're seeded. Our colony is supposed to be seeded from the Pleiades. Apparently, actually, the planet is supposed to be seeded is supposed to be the seed planet for multiple what is it? What are the refugee colonies? But
This
the
is crazy.
Pleiades.
Yeah.
They talk about the Pleiades in all those Hindu mythos where you have Hindu gods shooting fucking 100,000 rockets from one rod a swing from the rod and shit.
Mhm.
They have nuclear fucking fallout in seconds. You know, like
Vedic text or something. Right?
Yeah, there's Vedic texts that talk about that shit.
Flying
Yeah.
ships.
Yeah, they got UFOs and shit, you know, going around bombing each other, shooting fucking heavenly arrows and shit, amassing storms and shit.
And just the
bro.
knowledge of the Force, and you know, we were going to get into the dark side and the light side, but also the gray Jedis and being able to be in the middle. Almost.
They talk about metachlorians and shit.
Yeah, essentially, Anakin is Jesus. You know, he's kind of a homunculus that.
I feel like those things are just
metachlorians.
I think those are just biological, like those are nano, like those are nanobots, but like
nano jizz.
They have some biological shit to it, bro.
Dude, so even in Egypt, like they had things called Jed pillars. So like the Jedi, it was like DJEDI or something.
Oh,
like
I did see
and
that.
And they used the Force and stuff like that. And like I think the Jed pillars, like they conducted electricity. So even like the hilt of the lightsaber, they made it look like, you know, similar to a Jed pillar in Egypt. So all this shit does stem from something, you know. They just kind of like repackaged it, and that's why is fucking Star Wars one of the most like profitable, you know, stories out of all. Like when it's one of the biggest stories that we have, you know. Like,
well, you know,
that's
crazy shit.
crazy.
The Star Wars actually ripped off a lot of themes from Dune. You know what the Dune series is?
That's straight up a lightsaber right there. What the fuck?
Yeah, fucking lightsaber.
I see that. I heard George Lucas like kind of, you know, made like a collage of a bunch of tales in order to make Star Wars. Because yeah, Jesus is pretty much in it, right?
Yeah, but they took a lot of themes from Dune, man. Like the whole the Emperor, Chosen One. You know, seeing the future. The fucking the Night Sisters. They're like portrayed as the Bene Gesserit, which is the force wielding witches in Dune. Essentially, that's what they are, because like they use the words to fucking manipulate people and make them, hypnotize them and do shit for them. Those themes were written in those books, man, and those books were written a long time ago. Actually, I live out in the area that the books came from, Monterey County, and Marina Sand Dunes. That's why the movie's called Dune. I fucking grew up on those. I grew up on those dunes, man. Fucking fished from those dunes. I lost my uncle in that ocean, bruh. So like that, all that shit's like really honed in me, bruh. They took a lot of themes from Dune.
Spiritual plagiarism, man.
Yeah, man. Literal plagiarism too.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It's a crazy episode, man. We didn't even get to talk about music, and we barely scratched the surface on crystals. I feel like Lightsaber was a perfect transition to crystals, but dude, we'll get you on another episode, bro. That was fun as fuck.
That's good. You know what I'm saying? I'm always down, bro.
So, 2 questions to end the show, man. Since we started off with Star Wars,
Since we got crystals.
What? Best Star Wars out of the whole? Was it 1 through 9? Which one's your guys' favorite?
Best Star Wars.
I would say for me, I'm just gonna say Phantom Menace, because I feel like for me as a kid, it felt like when my dad seen the first Star Wars. Like, I'm that age, and it's just like as a kid, that was the first thing I seen of it. So it's just like it just makes that impact on you, not to mention I got my name from it, but it's like to see like Anakin as like the whole Anakin arc was just crazy to me, like to watch. So like that shit, like just personally, because of like when I seen it as a kid and stuff like that is like my favorite, like what I attend.
Darth Maul is goated. I will say that.
Darth Maul's funny.
Saying your favorite Star Wars movie?
Yeah, favorite Star Wars movie out of the 9 currently.
I thought you were gonna say out of everything, because there's more than 9. Technically, there's more than 9.
Yeah, but the original.
The OG 3. Okay. That's an interesting question. I would probably go with number 2, man. Not number 2, but that's number 7, right?
Oh, Empire Strikes Back.
7, and yeah, Empire Strikes Back, bro. Because that's when you get a little taste of reality, bro. You learn the truth about things, and then you got to face the truth and figure out, you're gonna keep going through with it. Like you have all these dreams, these hopes, and these dreams and shit, and then you learn the truth about yourself, your heritage, all the things that are, in your way and shit, bro. Like, trying to save the world and learning your father is the one who brought the world to terror. You know what I'm saying? So
he came back to Return of the Jedi like a G, though. Like
he got his hand cut off.
Black Luke Skywalker with the green saber is goated, I think, too.
Yeah.
Yo, I thought you said Attack of the Clones. I was about to kick you out of the chat, bro. Jesus.
Oh, fuck no. I was really gonna be. You said all 9 movies. I was really gonna say Rogue One. Rogue One is the best piece of work they ever put out.
Yeah, controversial.
Not at all, man. That shit is fucking. That shit's real. That shit is real, bro. Everybody fucking died, bro.
I had a friend that cried during the pep talk scene. So I mean,
that was the only movie that kept it real, man. They had a real insurgency and shit. Them motherfuckers really fucking died, bro.
All I'm gonna say is Donnie Yen collected a check that movie, bro.
You know what I'm saying? They had what's the name? They had what's the name from Ip Man, right?
Yeah, him, Donnie Yen. He was a blind wannabe Jedi, right?
Man, he was whipping out too. He was telling these motherfuckers, man, the force is still there, even though we ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? That's like, we all gonna die. Let's do this shit, bro. Like, Yeah, you don't get more gangster than that.
What about you, Chef?
Dude, y'all are gonna fucking hate me. Not really a big Star Wars fan, dude.
Ooh, Star Trek? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, none of this shit either.
Space is fake and gay. You don't even believe in space.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird on that, man. No. I do think that there are some I don't know, dude. My thoughts change daily, and I do I don't hate Star Wars and I don't diss Star Wars. I just never really got into it. So like I feel like if I were to speak on it, I'd be faking gay like space. So like but maybe
good point, dog.
Hey, but maybe you know what? Maybe that'll spark my interest because I have those days where it's like, fuck, what am I gonna watch? You know, and we've done like the whole like Hogwarts thing, and like maybe I'll have to go and do it like chronologically. And I know there's like a certain way to watch like Marvel movies. Like there's a whole list of what you need to start with, so it all makes sense. And maybe I just need to revert back to that, but do it all with Star Wars. But hey, I support you, gentlemen. I think it's really fucking cool. Star Wars, you know, I'm just not there yet, and I'm going to get there.
No, to build off your point, because that was the alley I needed, bro. To go back about PsyOps and to go back about Stanley Kubrick, you know, we talked about, are there filmmakers that are putting truth out there as whistleblowers? And I think, yes, Stanley Kubrick was one of them. The first movie he made, I think it was Dr. Strangelove. He like ruffled a lot of politicians' feathers. Like he was like being really controversial to the point where he got canceled as a filmmaker. Like I said, it wasn't until he made 2001 Space Odyssey where he got the backing of all the filmmakers, a la got back into NASA, filmed all that shit. But Project Bluebeam, you know, and this whole space fake propaganda shit, you know, even if space is an interdimensional space and it's not outer space where it's a vacuum and the fake moon landing stuff, I feel like Star Wars kind of like use that momentum and package these occult teachings into that to make it like, no, it's not occult. It's in space, man. You know what I mean? Because that's also a way to package the truth into bullshit to where only the initiated kind of know. Because this Jed thing with the lightsaber is pretty convincing. Yoda be looking like a fucking demon that was summoned. It looks pretty convincing. But now you put that in space, then it's like, oh, well, you know, it's an alien. You know what I'm saying? It's a laser sword. So it's pretty occult in the way that it hid some teachings in there, you know? So I see the angle, but I see the packaging too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's why they use the word science fiction, you know? Anything now labeled as science fiction, you're automatically going to go for it's fake or it's just created, you know? Like,
yeah, it's not
they
real.
throw real shit in there. Yeah, it's not real science fiction, bro. Like,
it's just a perverted version of reality. So, for example, in Star Wars, you have the Mandalorians. What is their alloy? What is it called? It's called Beskar, right?
Beskar, yeah.
And that's what they use for everything. It's like it's a part of their heritage, and they believe that it all belongs to them. Well, then you have humans who are, you know, harvesters of gold, essentially, right? That's what we're bred for.
Kinda, yeah, it is.
It could be argued that that's our Beskar, that's our alloy, that's our conduit. You know, that's what we use to show that we're royal. That, you know, our hierarchy and shit. You know, that's just we could use it for just about. I mean, we can consume gold, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can consume gold flakes and shit. So just imagine what we could do if we really process gold for the human's benefit and not just hoarding it and using it as a transactional means. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. I bet they're using it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, my favorite is, I think this is controversial. I like The Last Jedi, man. The one where Kylo Ren and Rey were working together. I thought that
was good. Oh, wait, The Last Jedi.
That
was the newest one? Is that like the newest one?
I did the newest 3 was the second one. And people hated it. That was when Luke astral projected and fought fucking Kylo Ren.
I was gonna say all that right up until that last part. That last part fucked it up.
Yeah, I thought so too. There were some parts where they could have, you know, made it a good movie, but they dropped the ball. But
when he drank that fucking alien's titty milk, that shit fucked me up, bro. I was like, yo, I am dead, bro. They had this nigga milk.
Who said that was titty milk, bro? Who said that was titty milk?
He milked the alien titty. He squeezed that nipple, bro, and drank the milk from that alien's fucking titty, bro. Like, I was just like, what the fuck, nigga, is going? That shit was fucking too much, bro. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck going on, nigga? This is a Star Wars movie? This motherfucker grody, bro. And then he was hella crazy, bro, swinging the sword at his nephew.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that and take that deeper, but shit, let's wrap it up. Phantom, where can we find you outside the cave, man?
Wait, did you get Phantom's favorite?
Yes, FantumMENACE, bro. What do you think?
He said FantumMENACE.
Oh, fuck me, dude. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm the
Fuck me.
Empire Strikes Back.
Nah, Jeff was like, space
the
is
Last
fake
Jedi.
gay. Shut the fuck.
No, but yeah,
Hey, we all
man, on all social medias, you could just type FantumMENACE, FantumMENACE. I mean, SoundCloud, you know, I'm on all streaming, Spotify and everything. So I just dropped, I just put 2 new songs on SoundCloud. I used beats that weren't mine, so that's why it's only going to be on SoundCloud. But there's one, it's called Big God, and it's me and my girlfriend Tanisha. She raps with me, but her name is Charming Karma. So it's us two, and we're rapping on there's a song called Big Dog, and it's Benny the Butcher and Lil Wayne. So we're rapping on that beat, and we flipped it to be Big God. And then I just felt inclined. I rapped on that BBL Jersey beat, so that is on my SoundCloud. If you wanna hear that.
Yo,
I just literally just recorded it like right before I got on the show too, and posted it. So.
Hell yeah, man, that's dope. Yo, so who do you think won that fucking beef?
I mean, it's a no contest, bro. Like, come on now. Like, as anybody who's an artist or a lyricist, like, it's pretty, like, there's no fucking breakdowns on Drake's shit. Like, dude, there's been fucking dissertations on these diss tracks. You know what I'm saying? And, like, just for music and for hip hop, this is probably, like, one of the greatest displays of just, I would just say artistry in general, because the intricacy that went into these songs, like, not to mention, bro, he's been dissing this dude probably on every album since he fucking came out. So now he even led back into the disses. I started listening back to the old songs, and
King Kunta?
he's referencing the songs in the disses. So he's letting you guys know. He's like, I've been telling you guys that I was finna do this my whole fucking career. It's like there's something deep that happened between them that none of us know, that, like, it seems like it has to be real deep to take it this far. You know what I mean? Like to want to end this man, like, something happened, bro. Like,
he hates them. And
Kendrick all day, bro.
We had our KVW episode where we had him fight in an ambulance match, but we were talking about, like, if it came down to that, right? Obviously, Drake's last response sucked. If Drake was like, "Hey, square up, let's just fight," you know, would it be like a sore loser, or would he win if he beat Kendrick's ass at the end of it all?
I'm gonna say this, bro. I mean, so Drake has fake abs. We all know that. I'm like, I don't know how much he really works out. I mean, Kendrick grew up in the real hood. He fucking probably really works out. I mean, I don't know if Drake knows how to fight. I don't give a fuck if he's taller or not. Who are we to say if Drake knows how to fucking fight, dude? Like, dude's gonna get washed. Like, I don't know, man. I don't got him winning nothing. Like,
the size gives him an advantage though. But
I do feel like that. But also, like, we've seen UFC, and I watch fucking UFC. Dude, size does not always matter if somebody either grappling or knows how. Who are we to know? Kendrick's name is Kung Fu Kenny, man. Who the fuck do we know he doesn't actually study martial arts? I don't think Drake studies martial arts. Like, imagine fucking Kendrick just, like, doing a fucking spinning back kick on fucking, like,
a Minari roll,
like,
taps him with a heel hook.
like, you don't fucking, like, I don't got Drake winning that.
No.
I got my best friend stand.
That's fine. No, I will to back that up, man. Like, to give Drake his flowers, back to back is an iconic diss track. It sucks that there has to be an asterisk because you didn't write that shit. You know what I mean? But just sonically up there. But yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah,
there's like 2 or 3 that came out from Kendrick that are classics now. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's clear as day for people who aren't just like on Drake's nuts. You know what I mean? And like, it's not like, and I am a Kendrick fan. I mean, like, I definitely grew up listening to Kendrick, but it's just like because the artistry was there. Like, even like putting sound clips in your albums and shit, that goes back to MF Doom and fucking Madlib and shit, you know? So it's like just those little nods and stuff. Like, I'm always just going to take artistry and like whoever can do some shit that's like kind of outside of the box, kind of like it's not the norm. Like that's not radio stuff. Like you don't put sound clips on your albums and interludes for the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real art stuff. You know, like
yo, you know what? Back then, I had a friend that was like screaming that Kendrick's the GOAT. Kendrick's one of the best. Around the time Good Kid, Mad City came out, and at the time I was like, yo, he's good, man, but let's not call him the GOAT right away, right? But now that you mention it, like as far as and O's a rapper too, he can kind of chime in. As far as giving back and paying tribute to rap, you're sampling your own sound first of all, so you're Kanyeing your own shit, you know what I mean? And you're making your own voice effects, so you're Lil Wayneing that shit too. Plus, you're hitting the Eminem bars, you know what I mean? Plus, I would agree. I would probably guess that he does one takes, dog. You know what I mean? I would even say that he probably doesn't even write some of the shit that he spits. So he's hitting all those, like he has all the Infinity Stones, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Bitch slapped him with an Infinity Gauntlet. It felt like
big facts.
Yeah. So crazy. I think he's on his way, man. And I think like the fact that J. Cole bowed out was J. Cole taking like a D Wade to LeBron, like, you know, you got this, bro. Like I'll be Robin.
I mean, it was smart. We can all see how smart that was now, because, like, I mean, I fuck with Cole too, but I don't think he has that spirit to be as vengeful as what needed to be done in this type of arena.
He's a Rastafarian, man. You know, like he ain't trying to like let's just smoke and chill and tell stories. You know, freestyle.
Bro, one of the funniest things I've seen was like, you know, there's been so many little fucking videos and memes and shit. It was this dude, and he was being J. Cole, and he was like, man, I'm so excited to battle out to see who's the best with me and my friends, to see who's the best rapper. And it's like, this ain't that, bro. This fucking ain't that, bro. This ain't a friendly battle between bros to see who's the best at the top. This is fucking cutthroat shit. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, I guess let's sign off with this, and this can lead into whatever segment we do. At the time when it was bubbling up, we didn't really care about it. We thought it was distraction of, you know, to get spotlight away from Diddy. But like I always say, someone hit me up and said that, nah, this is like the class of rappers that aren't with that fuck shit saying not like us, you know what I mean? And that's why that's the anthem for them to be like, yeah, Drake and me sucked his dick, but not us, you know? Like there's those kind of rappers, but there's rappers like us and we're not like them kind of shit. So that makes it exciting. That's almost like a Pac kind of element back into hip hop.
Well, the West always was kind of against Diddy in a sense, anyway. So,
well, I thought all of rap was faking gay after that, you know. But now I feel like this is the rebuttal of like, yeah, they are, but not us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's true. And then like the people who support Kendrick now, they're standing up to say, nah, you know, I ain't like those. Like you do have to say, if you don't separate yourself, now you're kind of sus, because it's like, are you like those dudes or not? You know,
people are backing Drake up. They're like, well, you know, she was young. Even there's a video of Drake pulling up a fan who was 17 at the time, and Drake was like, you know, grinding up on her. Even she came out and said, oh no, Drake didn't pick me out. It was the entourage, this and that. But you know, the common variable of these like exposés is there's always a settlement. So who knows if Drake, you know, tagged her in something to get her social media boost or get paid her off in order to be like, hey, can you come out and say this? I'm really taking heat from this Kendrick song, you know?
I mean, dude, there's an on stage clip where he's even has the mic and he's like, how old are you? 17? Ooh, you look like that for a second. Like, what the fuck is it? I would have been like, yeah, you got to get off. It's only adults. Like, the fuck is wrong with you, dog? He kissed her on the cheek and shit. Like, bro, my kid is not going to a concert in the fucking...
Now that
you don't even want your girl to get kissed on the cheek by fucking Drake, but a kid is like, dude, that's fucking crazy, dog. Like,
he was 23 years old. He was 23 years old in that video, so I think that was an honest mistake. I mean, you just becoming a superstar. You barely out of your 20s.
I'll give him that.
20s and shit.
Right,
I'll give him that.
No, yeah.
No?
A lot of young niggas do some questionable shit. You know, XXX Tentacion had some charges. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people had some kind of sexually related charge at some point, some interaction, some point, bruh. It's just whether or not, you know, they shit got put out. You know what I mean? And I mean, his dumb ass unfortunately, his situation was accidentally kissing a fucking 17-year-old on national television in front of everybody. Basically not on TV. I guess it was at a concert, right? But I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that shit, bro. That was just an honest mistake. He was just an idiot.
Yeah, but then like hitting up Bobby Millie Brown or Bobby whatever her face is.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
She was
Is that the girl who does those weird ass videos?
11.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets all weird too, dude. Like,
wait, who is this person?
She's
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown, dude. She's 11. Like the main character 11 in the series Stranger Things.
Yeah.
She has like the bloody. It's like it was a big costume too with like the bloody nose and like the Eggo waffle box. Like, but yeah, she supposedly like she even says, dude, like in an interview. Yeah, someone said something like, oh. Like they ended up meeting up at a fucking hotel. Drake like texted her, was like, "Hey, like let's hang out." Da 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 da. And then one of the reporters was like, "Oh, like what were you guys talking about?" And she says like, "Oh, like I pretty much like whatever is going on in our like text message like thread. Like I'm not going to talk about that." Yeah, Drake's a fucking piece of shit.
I saw a screenshot saying like, "I can't wait till you turn 18."
Yeah, fuck that guy, dude.
That was Billie Eilish. I think it was on her or something like that. Yeah, like
wrong Billie.
Hey, to my knowledge though, Tech9's keeping it real, dude. Just saying, dude.
Let me show you guys this video. This video is pretty interesting.
So let me tell you why Kendrick and a whole bunch of other major artists really don't like Drake. As you can see, Kanye said it pretty perfectly a couple years ago in a remix, saying, "Where's Lucian? Serve your master what? You got a little bag for you."
Time out. Now Kanye going on rants during, Yeezus makes a lot of fucking sense, and it's iconic, bro. I'm a Kanye fan, and I used to be like, "Shut up, bro. Play stronger," But now I wish I recorded those fucking speeches and rants, bro. He was spit.
And it was crazy because, like, some of the shit, it's like now that we see later down the line, it's like, damn, like. He was kind of trying to warn us about some shit, with the people we can't talk about and shit. Like,
yo, he is unhinged though. Fuck a rap. I'll just go out there and talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like, you gotta code it some way, bro. Like, give us some bars and stuff. Like,
yeah, lifetime deal. I feel bad for what? That would be this man right here, Mr. Lucian Grange. The reason why Abel Tesfaye, aka The Weeknd, is in the position of which he is. Which, let me say, this is for educational purposes only. But what if I told you there's a very dark history behind Lucian? That even Lucian himself has a puppet master. Let's keep in mind, Lucian is the chairman and chief executive officer of Universal Music Group.
There's a rumor that UMG hit up Kendrick Lamar and was like, "Hey, can you not call Drake pedo? Because we're taking a huge hit out of it."
Well, yeah, the same exact one that's bringing its music back to TikTok. Let's keep in mind before I go any further, though, Mr. Lucian Grange is under pressure from a lot of allegations of sponsoring and financing every single one of P. Diddy's parties. Every single party of where P. Diddy's allegations in themselves originate from. Saying that Lucian aided and abetted Combs' behavior by sponsoring gatherings where underage girls were reportedly drugged and provided vast sums of money to Combs, who allegedly used it for what? But like I said, the music industry is very dark, and there's always another puppet master. This is Mr. Leor Cohen. How do you think Lucian Grange got that position to begin with? Oh, you guessed it, aka the tall Israeli. And of course, Leor Cohen is a global head of music at Google and YouTube. But this man is a very high authority figure in the music industry. Because let's keep in mind, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry at companies including Warner Music, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and 300 Entertainment. Do keep in mind, Leor Cohen in himself is somebody that Tupac and himself was sketched out about.
Get crazy,
and ironically, not even 2 years after Tupac's death, in 1998 and 1999, Cohen brokered the deal to sell Def Jam to Universal, creating the Island Def Jam music group, which combined Def Jam, Mercury, and Island Records. And as you can see at that time, artists under his watch at Island Def Jam included none other than Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Ludacris, and Mariah Carey, just to name a few. All very sketchy artists. But like I said, Mr. Leor Cohen himself is the victim of many allegations, including from a CIA agent that confessed the agencies created rap music to fill private prisons. Mr. John Homeston, a retired CIA agent, has admitted on national Russian television that hip-hop was a psyop invented by the CIA in the 1980s, and the agency has directed and financed household name artists including NWA, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. Kanye tried to tell everybody about this years ago. And of course, nobody wanted to listen. But John Homeston said that our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society, saying that the CIA even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. He also says when it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Leor Cohen. Homestead admitted Leroy Cohen, also known as the Tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, used specific artists like these, I'm sure everybody knows who all of these people are, to gain specific influence in society. See, like it says here, Cohen ended up promoting rappers such as Jay-Z and Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Well, obviously Kanye knew what he was talking about. But see, Kanye himself, alongside John Hobson, stated that the elites have been slowly working on eroding social norms for decades, and forcing famous black men to normalize the sight of men in dresses was a part of the agenda. And here's the thing, right? A music industry executive who was present at the first meeting between the CIA and music industry executives has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what went down on that fateful day, in a specific video that is no longer available online. Yeah, I'm sure that's not sketchy in itself, right? Or the fact that John Homestead said that the CIA worked in tandem with music industry elite to create a funnel in which young people would be indoctrinated with brainwashed gangster rap music and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. In order to create this funnel, the CIA introduced music industry owners to the private prison industry. See, that's where Time Warner comes in because let's keep in mind, like I stated at the beginning of this video, Leroy Cohen himself was a very high authority figure at Time Warner. As you can see, some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners. As you can see in 2021, Core Civic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. See, there was one particular requirement of eligibility for the deal, saying that an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. And here's the sketchy part that this article paints very well, right? In the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the U.S. were responsible for controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. And of course, Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. Like it says right here, you think you choose what you listen to, but do you really? Here's the most important part that this article paints very well. BET and MTV are owned by Viacom. When ownerships of these mass media conglomerates is cross-checked with the biggest names in private prison ownership, the largest owner of Core Civic, like I just named, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, is none other than Vanguard Group Incorporated. The corporation that works very closely with BlackRock and Larry Fink. You know, the corporation who basically has the highest shares in every single major corporation that resides out of America? Yeah, that one. Vanguard is the number one shareholder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. Like it says here, the people who own the media and are responsible for putting gangster rap at the center of youth culture are the very same people who own private prisons. So you tell me why this deal is a problem. You tell me why major artists really don't like Drake. Because I'm pretty sure it's obvious at this point. Drake is what you would call a sellout, and Kendrick truly knows how the industry runs. But you keep allowing yourself to be consumed by those frequencies.
Man, crazy. Tied everything up, I feel like. And I said this already. I feel like Kendrick's rapping like that fool's ready to die, bro. Which will solidify the GOAT. Might even put him above Pac if this is how his legacy.
I saw that. I heard some shit about that Universal Group employee that was doing that shit. Yeah, he's tied with Diddy somehow. Like I heard some shit about Universal throwing Diddy under the bus. So that's not surprising. You feel me?
So it's crazy. Like, think about Mr. Morale. What, he came out with the crown of thorns. He basically told us, like, I'm about to sacrifice myself to lift the curtain up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he prepared it. And then also, if you think about it, that was basically his dissertation of, like, I got some fucked up things about me. Let me tell you guys what's fucked up about me. So this
dude, the Eminem route.
You know, you're not gonna fucking say. I already told them everything about me. Like, and I'm about to sacrifice myself to fucking pull the curtain out from under these motherfuckers. You know, like.
Can I say this too? The last response of Drake. First of all, Kendrick made a bunch of allegations about child trafficking and pedophilia, but he didn't mention Millie Bobby Brown at all. All of a sudden, Drake's response had Millie Bobby Brown's name in it. So it's almost like he outed himself.
Yeah. Classic shorty.
Shit. Well, fuck. Let's wrap it up. This is the longest episode. If you're tuning in live, check out the comments for the Discord link so you can join our Discord community filled with crazy-ass people like you and me 24/7. And if you're not watching this live, you can access that link on our Patreon. You can find that on the website, cave.com. That's cave4v3.com. FantumMENACE, Reese, Chef. Thanks for coming on. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, a pleasure, man. That was badass. I had a great time with you, gentlemen.
Hell yeah, that was fun, guys.
I remember I was convicted.
Oh! Hey, real quick. I'm trying to find your stuff on. I got Oriza's stuff last time, or like two